Yo, 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 welcome to the Blue Lounge. Welcome to the stream. I hope you
Yes,
guys
sir.
are all having a fantastic evening. I hope you're having a fantastic evening. And you know what? You're Chelsea fans. So you should be having a fantastic evening. All right?
Yes,
Big up to everyone. Big up to everyone in the chat. I see Mohammed Dam. I see Aiden. I see Elijah. I see Ozont. I'm gonna put your name up on there. Every one of you. Big up to every one of you, and thank you all for coming on. We are streaming earlier than usual, and the reason for that is because I want to give this topic enough time. Big up to CFC Gem. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the stream. CFC Gem, if you want to jump on, let me know. I'll send you a link. I'll send you a link. Eric Blue, am I late? I'm a little bit late. I'm a couple of minutes late. Sorry for that. MCIG, big up to you. Thank you all for coming on. Lads, tonight we're going to have a long stream. We're going to have a long stream. We're going to be here for a good couple of hours discussing this topic because this topic needs to be addressed. Love from India. Big up to you, my man. Big up to you, my man. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for coming on. Um, Before I talk about the topic, let me just say hello to my boys here in the panel. Big up to MDT, Julius, and Hawkeyes. Big up to you, man. How you guys doing?
Doing good. Big up everybody. Julius, okay, how are you guys doing today?
doing great.
Thanks. Big up.
Big up to you all. Big up to you all.
Yes,
Listen,
sir.
lads. I hope you guys, you've had your snacks, you've put the kids to sleep, and you're all ready. You're all ready for this because we're gonna be here for a while. We're gonna be here for a while. Look, I'm actually gonna do this format. I'm gonna use this format, and I'm gonna give it a bit of time. Let me put my banner on. I forgot to put my banner on. We'll have that on the bottom. All right, we're good. We're good. We're good. Guys, if you're just jumping on, smash that like button. If you're new, subscribe, and hopefully we'll get to 100 likes and 20 odd subscribers on the stream tonight. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Listen, people. Chelsea yesterday had a unfortunate result. We had an unfortunate result. We played very good football for at least 60 odd minutes of that game. The first half dominating, controlled. We should have come out of there at least 2 or 3-0. We could have scored 2 or 3 goals easy. We didn't. Second half, the performance was good for the first 10-15 minutes, and then it went a little bit pear-shaped. We had some errors. We had some problems. But it wasn't a lackluster performance. It wasn't a performance that you look back on and say, we messed up. We didn't play well. Because we did. There was one element that was poor. One element that was poor, and that was finishing. We can nitpick about individual performances. Marcus Alonso didn't do this. Christensen Aspi didn't do that. Mason Mount could have finished it. Reece James, we could nitpick. We could, and everybody has the right to criticize and to nitpick because we're fans. End of the day, that's what we do. But I have seen something over the past couple of days, the past 24 hours, let's say. And it's really been leading up to this game. It's been happening for a little while. And that is negativity within our fan base, lads. Negativity. Chelsea isn't doing the business. Tuchel isn't doing the business. We are not performing. We are leaking goals. We are not scoring enough and all of that. And I can understand all of that. I can understand all the criticism that people can put on the club, on the players, on the manager. I can understand all of that. What I can't understand is for us as fans to give up so easily. To give up so easily. And when I say give up, I mean give up on our team, on our players, on our manager, because that's what we've been doing. We've been giving up. Chelsea are 4 points away from top. with 21 matches left in the season. And we're packing our bags already. The fans are packing their bags already. You all know, all the YouTubers, all the streamers, everyone is talking about, we got no chance, the title race is done, blah, 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 blah. We're giving up. So what do you want and what do you expect from our manager and our players? To be like you? To give up? Pack their bags and say, 21 games, 4 points. Boy, we can't make that up. We can't do that. How are we going to make up that massive 4-point gap with only 21 games left? How are we going to do that? That's impossible, isn't it? Tuchel took over from Frank Lampard 2 months thereabouts from where we are in the season today. And he won the Champions League. And we finished top 4. We were struggling under Lampard. He came in. We won the Champions League. And we finished top 4. With a team in a league that was foreign to the man. Foreign to the man. But he did what he needed to do. And do you know why? Because that's what he does. Tuchel is a world-class manager. And he came with a challenge, with a task, with a fight on his hands. And he took that and he did what he had to do. And today the fan base are giving up. With 21 games to go and 4-point gap. Listen, whether or not you believe we could win the Premier League this season, that's on you. Everyone has their opinion. Maybe I think we can. Maybe you think we can't. Who's right? We don't know. We'll find out at the end of the season. But you know what? You and me, we're Chelsea fans. And we've got to have faith in our team, in our manager, in our club. Because if we can't have faith with the position we're in now, then when are we going to have faith? When are we going to have faith? And this is what I wanted to say, and this is why I'm streaming today. Because I'm sick and tired and I'm fed up of negative vibes, man. Negativity from everyone. Look, I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Hold on. I'm going to show you something. This is where we are, lads. This is where we are. Look. We're here. We're here. That's the gap. Look at the difference between us and the teams below us. We're here. 3 points behind Liverpool. That's 1 win. 4 points behind Man City. Look at our results. 6 weeks ago, we were, the best team in the country. And now, by your standards, by your opinion, we're in the mud. Does that look like a team that's in the mud? Does that look like a team that's in the mud? At the start of the season, at the start of this season, had I have told you by the 17th of December, we would be sitting third, 4 points away from Manchester City, 3 points behind Liverpool, how would you have reacted? What would you have done? Would you have taken that? Would you have been happy with that? I guarantee you would have. I'll guarantee you would have been more than happy. So why all the negativity right now? Why all the negativity right now? I wanted to get this off my chest. And I wanted to talk about this with you guys in the chat and on my panel. There'll be other people joining in due course. But I'm going to open this with you guys. And I'll start with MDT. MDT, give me your thoughts, mate. Give me your thoughts.
Thanks for having me, Mo. And thanks everyone on the panel for joining. For me, exactly how what you just said. That's how I felt. To be honest with you, after last night when I was on late night stream, after that I switched off. I didn't watch a single Chelsea stream because I saw the negativity coming. I didn't check social media until today. I think around 5 when I checked the Blue Lounge, whatever, because I didn't want to deal with any of this negativity and overreaction. People are comparing teams or situation which are not. It's not comparable. You can't compare them. Okay, yesterday was a terrible result. I'm not going to sit here and defend that result. But that result wasn't based on us not doing the only thing we missed yesterday was the most important thing in football, which is to put the ball at the back of the onion bag. We didn't do that. That's not on the manager. That's not on the defense. Even the goal we concede, that was not on the defenders. It's a set piece. So I don't understand when people are overreacting. Our defense solidarity is destroyed, this and that, and whatever. The thing is, people are forgetting everything into context. With the situation at Chelsea, we should be happy. No team have had the amount of injury we've had and compete in the Premier League. Go and check in Premier League history. I don't understand where all this is coming from. I can understand when the match is going on, you get frustrated, you get emotional, but it has continued over 24 hours now, and it's like people are racing to the bottom. Like everybody have to be like this dramatic or create an issue. Okay, you know when it's an issue? If we're struggling to get top four right now, 4 point behind with the amount of injuries since the beginning of the season. Chelsea have not played at starting 11 a single time the whole season, and this is 17 game. There's not a single team in the Premier League, bottom or top or bottom, that had that issue. We've had the whole season. I think Leeds, Patrick Bamford. Okay, apart from that, every team at least once or twice have had their full 11. We haven't. If the strikers are injured, by the time they come back, they're not even fully fit. The midfielders collapse. The midfielders are injured. By the time they're coming back, they're not even fully fit. The defense struggling because they're playing with injuries. The defense. So we keep having issue after an issue. For me, what I think that is the manager. This is his first time in England. I think the beginning of the season, he should have rotated. He didn't. That's what catch up. The first 6 games, 7 games, because we were playing players that came from the European Championship. They were not fully fit. Man City and Liverpool were resting them because they know their manager knew that this time of this season they will struggle. They will have to do. We played a lot of players that were not fully fit because we want them in the team. You see with Chilwell, when he took his time, when Chilwell came back in the team, you see how well he did? I believe rotation should have happened. We shouldn't have waited until we start getting injuries to start rotating like we did. For me, I believe Tuchel will learn from that. That's the only thing I take from this. Is because of that. This was his first time in England. He's not used to playing this amount of. He thought, well, okay, the players when they get injured, the other players were ready. But I don't think that was the only thing I can say we made a mistake, not rotating. Because I remember when I said it, people say it's only 2 games, it's only 3 games. I said, you know what, you guys are joking because it's not about the starting of the season. It's about December. You have to give the players all minutes to make sure that the minute is spread in the squad. So people are not tired. They don't have muscle fatigue. They don't get injury, soft tissue injuries. And that's what happened. It's because of the manager didn't know Premier League. But believe me, as soon as he figure this out, it's not going to happen again. It's going to rotate heavily in midfield and in defense. And even the strikers, because as much as whatever, there are certain people at the beginning of the season, they play 6-7 games straight. And those people are not playing now, apart from Rudiger. All of them are down. What does that say? Is because of he didn't know the Premier League. For me, that's all I gotta say. The negativity, you can be negative when a match is going on. But after the match is gone, come on, you gotta try to be rational.
Yep.
That's all I can say for now.
Yeah, no, Mo, you see, the thing is this, like I said, you have the right to criticize. You can criticize a performance, a player, the manager, you can criticize whoever you want. My issue is that we are giving up on these players that we're criticizing, the manager that we're criticizing. You know, when we criticize, we don't criticize because we hate, because we're trolling. We're criticizing because we want to see something develop from that criticism, something happen. We want to see that criticism lead to the problem being addressed and being fixed. That's why we criticize. We do not criticize because we are against a player or against the manager, and that's what people don't seem to understand. When you criticize, it's because you are seeking to remedy a problem. Thus, you are criticizing the problem. You are bringing light to the problem. You are highlighting the issue to get it fixed. To get it fixed. Couch, give me a second. I'll send it to you. We want to fix the issue. And that's why we are talking about the issue. That's why we are addressing the issue. The problem is, a lot of people are giving up because of the problem. You're seeing the issue, you're seeing the shortcomings, and that's making you think there is no way to fix it, no way to address it. Therefore, we have to delete and start again. Sack the manager. Sell the players. That's not the way we're going to fix our problem, because the players, they're the ones that have put us in this position today. Third, last 16 in the Champions League. They won us the Champions League last season. To be fair to the players and to Tuchel, can somebody please just ban Nico Sanchez? The moderators in the chat, just ban Nico Sanchez. It's disturbing my train of thought. Ban him, please. These are the same players who got us in this position. And to be fair to the players and to the manager, the Chelsea of this season are weaker than the Chelsea of last season. We've sold more players. Our squad has only had 2-3 additions. A backup goalkeeper. A player who I still don't know what his best position is, if he has one, who came in on loan. And a striker who had 7 games and then he had an injury. We've let go, or we've released a ton in attack, in midfield, in defence, especially in defence. Therefore, we are weaker when it comes to our squad depth this season, and we are still doing well. Now, all of these issues, we could address them, we could talk about them, no problem. You know, you can say this was right, this was wrong, no problem. But don't give up on your team. Don't give up on your team. And if you give up on your team, then you have no right to criticize, because you've given up. You have given up. When we are in a very strong position and you have given up. When are you going to support the team? If you're giving up today, when are you going to support the team? I'm going to bring in Julius and Couch. I'm going to send you the link. Julius, let me get your thoughts.
Hi everyone. Thanks.
Hi, Julius.
Nice topic. I have a little bit different perspective in general, Mo. I do agree with everything you have said. 100% you're right. There is no question. There is no debate. However, my issue is with the fan base is slightly different, is that the fan base a couple months ago, especially in the summer, they were buzzing. We are the best team in Europe. We are the best team in the world, let alone in the country, you know. And we came into the season with high expectations because we won the Champions League. I always thought personally, as a Chelsea fan myself, that we overachieved last year. We lost FA Cup final to Leicester City. We were a little bit inconsistent at some point in the league. If you look back, we had to rely on Tottenham to beat Aston Villa for us to make 4th. We lose the FA Cup final, then we go to the Champions League campaign. We did unbelievably well, which can happen, you know. That doesn't mean you are the best team in the world. That could cover a lot of cracks. The Champions League win, in my opinion, covered a lot of cracks. This is where the fan base is doing a lot of error, a lot of mistakes with how they judge the situation. First of all, we need to protect the manager. I'm starting to see a lot of Tuchel out on social media, on Twitter, Facebook. on many YouTube channels, and I find this as couch. Yeah, it's hilarious. Honestly, it's unbelievable. Like, I do not understand how can you say something like that. The issue is not Tuchel. The issue is not the players. Even though I've always criticized Lukaku, I've never been a fan. It's not his fault. The problem with me when it comes to Chelsea is the business decisions, the critical decisions that led us to be in this situation. We've always had injury crisis. We've always had really tough Decembers. It's literally a cursed month for Chelsea. It's not the first time. It's been since Conte, since Mourinho days. We've always struggled in December. And I remember many times we struggled in December and we ended up winning the league as well. So, but what I wanted personally, and this is why I always hit back on the Chelsea board, is that I would have liked us after winning the Champions League to get more than two players. We only bought one player, and we got another guy on loan who is a joke of a footballer. And this is where I have, like, let's say, like a lot of frustration, because I believe every time we win a major trophy, we fail again at like reinforcing and giving the tools for the manager. We could have got Conde, you know. We sold Zuma. We could have got Conde. Let's pay 10 million extra. What's gonna happen? He could have been handy right now. We could have got Chomeni, for example. Uh, like, this is the depth that we're lacking, because when I look at the bench, we have Marcos Alonso at the bench, we have Ross Barkley at the bench, we have um, Malang Sarr on the bench, and like, you could look at Shaloba as well. We are lucky that Shaloba turned up to be good, because he wasn't even in the conversation. So in reality, we don't really have a depth the way we thought we have. Like, we have a very, very strong first 11, one of the best in Europe. There's only 2-3 teams that could be on the same level. Aside from that, what sets us apart from what puts City above us, let's say, or Liverpool, is a little bit more experience and more depth. And this is where I think Chelsea board failed Thomas Tuchel in the summer to provide him the necessary tools to compete and to be able to cope with any situation. Because this injury excuse is valid in the way the form dipped, for sure. But when you do risk analysis before a season, before an investment, before anything, you need to consider all scenarios. And having injury crisis in a league like the Premier League is not something. It's not an alien thing.
Yep. Julius, thank you for that. Thank you for that. And you see, this is the thing. The second part of the stream, I will talk about where we are, what we need to do, how do we move forward, why are we getting results that are not what we expect, what we want to see. We'll talk about that. And you've mentioned a couple of key points in respect to that, and we will definitely address that in the stream. But I want to reassure the fan base. That we are not in a problem. We are not having problems. We are not having problems to the level that you guys are making it out to be. We didn't win. I agree. We should have won easily. We didn't. We made the game against Leeds a lot harder than it should have been. I agree. But we are not having a torrid time. We are not having a problem in respect to the team, the manager, the players. Injuries is a massive factor. The pandemic is a massive factor. The schedule is a massive factor. Form with certain players is a massive factor. But all of these factors do not result in Chelsea becoming a bad team all of a sudden. And that is what I'm trying to say here. Before I go to Jorge and give him a chance to come in, I want to say welcome to Boogeyman and to Couch Critic. Welcome, guys. How you doing? Good to have you guys on. Good to have you guys on.
Good.
Good.
Excellent.
Let me hear. Brilliant, Couch. Good to have you. Okay, welcome to the stream. Give me your thoughts on this
Yeah.
topic, mate.
Yeah. Basically, as you just, popped in right now, you literally just said everything that was like on my mind. But, to answer your question, first of all, you made you made a question that why, is the fan base, why are they giving up? Why are they
Yep.
reacting like this? So I'll just, I like to think about them and
Sure.
why they're giving this kinds of reactions. So first of all, the expectations were like really high, really freaking high. Now the past I think 3 games, those games we were expected. I think there was a time they brought up the fixtures and they were like, okay, we're going all the way to Wolves. How many points do we want to get in these fixtures? But it has been the total opposite of that, like total opposite against Leeds. Now against Everton, it was really disappointing. So I can understand if these are the times when it's fine, yeah, to be reactionary, but not just overreactionary. It's fine to just, as you guys said, keep it after the game. Then over time, then you can address the whole situation again, look into it more. And me, the solution I'll just come into is we're in a crisis. That's what I would round up in. Chelsea is in a crisis right now. We've got injury crisis, and it's not just one game. I think people are forgetting that we've had these things, coming by for over 5 weeks now. Loads of players have been, playing. I've been getting jaded, tired, covering for these players that have been out on injury. So it's been piling up, piling up, piling up. And now we're seeing the results. We're seeing, the old freaking result that we cannot beat, a third side or fourth side Everton squad. People are just thinking, okay, it was just nothing happened before the day before yesterday, and we just played Everton third side team and we couldn't beat them. A lot of things have actually, compiled, and that is why we're seeing the results now. The injury crisis, COVID, team chemistry, a lot of things. Now that team chemistry, Lukaku has been out for as long as I can remember. He hasn't been back into the side. Kovacic has been out for as long. How would the chemistry even develop? So in times like this, when you need them to play so well, there's more shuffling and changing. So it's a whole load of factors, and that's why it's really bad because there's a whole lot of factors affecting every detail. Saul is back in the side, injuries, Chilwell is out. So it's a whole lot of things. So to be honest, what we should just be looking at now is how everything can start fixing it back, and hopefully everything has started bit by bit. But now we need the results. So that's just what I'll say.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 100%. All of the things you mentioned, the injury crisis, the scheduling, the form, Lukaku being out for a big chunk, all of that is spot on. All of that are elements that are of concern to the fan base. Concern, rightly so, to the fan base. But to use those elements to be, what's the word here? To be the hook that you hang all your problems on and say we're gonna fail because of it. Nah. We're not gonna fail. You see, I believe in my team, in my squad, in my players, in my manager, and I believe they're up to the challenge. They're up to the challenge. And if we as a fan base give up on them, then why should we demand more from them? If I'm not prepared to back my players and my team, then why should I demand more from them? Because I want to see them take up the challenge, play harder, work harder, train harder, score, finish, play better. I want to see that from them. And if I want to see that from them, I got to support them. And criticize, but in a supportive manner. So big up to you, Hawking. Thank you for your input. Boogeyman, welcome to the stream, and give me your insight. Give me your thoughts on this particular topic.
Listen, I listened to a few people. I came late, and it was for personal reason. I hate to be the, how do you say it?
I mean, I don't think the fans are overreacting. Um, Chelsea has always been that team with high expectation. I understand. Sometimes football is more than just what do you say? Um, like I was when Chelsea won the Champions League, you just have to look around the world, from Africa, Asia. People celebrate the win like I don't know, like they don't have any other problem, any real problem in their life. People jump, people organize, fan just organize party, do some crazy stuff. You just wonder, you have other reality. Why? So football is more than just patient and thinking and
Boogie,
logic.
Boogie, I'm going to just interrupt you for 1 second.
Well,
Christmas comes once a year. New Year celebration comes once a year. Chelsea winning the Champions League might be once or twice in your lifetime. So when you do get a chance to celebrate it, you get to celebrate it.
yeah, but that's what not only that I'm using the Champions League example just to even when you play football, like when Chelsea loses games, it affects the way I behave with my own family at home.
Yeah,
That's how
yeah,
bad it
of
is.
course. It
So
is true.
it's easy to say people are overreacting. It's because Chelsea has a standard that we love a lot. Like
Yes.
it's simple. Chelsea, as much as we have injuries, as much as the board did not do the proper job or proper investigation or research, whatever you want to call it. When Chelsea lose a game against Everton team, that is also have the problem. You need to let people overreact it a little bit. It's just life. Let them
Mm.
like I can come to your show not saying certain stuff, but then when I met my friend on the street, we both Chelsea fans, we scream, we say stuff, and we just
Yes.
release our energy because that's what it is. You
Yeah.
cannot take it on your wife. I cannot take it on my kid. It has nothing to do with it. I have to take it on someone else. So
Mm.
if I cannot do it here, I will do it somewhere else. So other people use Twitter account to just blow themselves up, but
Blow the
we
steam.
people with we're smart enough to know that this guy
Yeah.
is just saying it. We after that, whatever, life goes on.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
think the, the sentiment and the passion of the football is more than logic. So for me,
Yeah.
I understand people saying stuff like, okay, Tuchel out, but is that even mean Tuchel out? I don't think so. Like you're frustrated, you gotta say something. You just got to say something.
Sure.
Like last time
Sure.
I broke my laptop, I got a new one. Who's I paid that for myself. So I just want people to understand that part of the equation. That it's not always about okay, what these guys is. Are you a real? Do you understand football? Do you know what it is? Do you even understand Jorginho position? Do you understand Lukaku? No, it's just about winning and go outside and make fun of your the Arsenal fan. That's all it is for a lot of people. If they cannot do that, their life is not good. That's all it is.
Mm.
So I understand all those things. I understand we can blame the board, we can blame Chuko, we can blame players. But me, listen, you say whatever you said, and I will say what I think. And it's just
Mm.
my, I mean, if it wasn't because of the COVID, I won't know a lot of Chelsea fans. Like, I just stay in
Yeah.
my corner and deal with it with my family. COVID
Mm.
and how do you call it? The Blue Lounge allow me to
Yeah.
talk to other fans, and now I'm figuring out there's a lot of division even inside Chelsea group. We
Yeah.
just have different perspective, and we just have to respect it. And I think we're smart enough to accept the differences, and we're smart enough to just say, this guy, he's just blowing a little bit of steam, and he will come back.
Mm.
That's all it is for
Mm.
me.
Yeah. Boogie, thank you. Thank you for that. Big up to you, and you hit the nail on the head. You hit the nail on the head. As fans, when we talk, when we are in a group and we are discussing these issues, that's fine. That's fine. Even on social media, it's fine. But what I'm talking about is influencers, content creators, journalists, people whose opinion influences people. Their opinion matters. These are the people that I want to see become a little bit more controlled and a little bit more precise in what they are saying. Because today, here on this panel, when we talk, when we discuss a debate, and when we debate something, the people who are watching this debate, they will take from that debate. This debate, like I said, I'm always looking to educate and to learn from these debates. I will learn from you guys, and you guys will learn from me, and we will learn from the people in the chat. Therefore, there needs to be something productive done on these platforms. And for us to come on these platforms and to straight away turn our backs against our team as people who influence decisions, influence thoughts, positions of the fan base to a certain degree. I mean, I'm a small channel. There's other channels out there with 10 times more subscribers than me, and their voices are heard. And when they're out there on their channels talking about we're out of the title race because we're 4 points behind Man City with 21 games to go, and and people take that and think, you know what, we're in trouble, because not everyone is going to analyze and look at the stats and look at the data. They're going to listen to what this content creator and what this influencer is going to say, and they're going to take it as gospel. And that is a problem, because that point of view is going to be used in future points of view and in future debates. Our Tuchel was bad. He was struggling. He almost cost us the title race, because at this point in their timeline, all they saw was criticism. All they saw was Chelsea are out of the title race, are out of this, are out of that. And we're not. We're not. Did we have a bad performance? Yes, we did. We've had a couple of bad performances for various different reasons. I will acknowledge that, because that was a fact. But for us to use that as people who influence the thoughts and opinions of others, that's a mistake. I had a conversation with Julius. Now, I will say it. I had a conversation with Julius last night and today. We discussed this game, the last couple of games. We've discussed, things, and I vented anger, and so did he. But when we are here on this platform, when we talk, we know that what we're going to say is going to influence people. Therefore, we need to be careful. And I'm not just talking about us here on this panel. I'm talking about everyone who is doing this. You're a Chelsea fan, support your club, support your team, support your manager. We are not doing bad. We are not doing badly. And we're attacking our team. What are you guys going to do when we start to do badly? Show the same love to Tuchel that you have shown to other managers, please. Show the same support to Tuchel that you supported other managers who did not do what Tuchel did for you. Please. Let me hear from Couch Critic.
You know what's funny with you guys, man? Every time I come on this stream, man, you guys leave me last, and I have nothing left.
You come on last, didn't it? You come on
you
last.
guys, you guys cover everything, and then you expect me to come up with something that's completely different from what you say. Like, what do you want me to say? Everything that's been said right now, I echo those sentiments. Too many injuries, poor planning in the summer. Obviously Tuchel is a fantastic manager. There's no questions about that. Tuchel out is a ridiculous statement to be making after a draw, and not even like a debacle, like where we lose. This is just a draw, right? And if you can't look at the circumstance that we find ourselves in as a Chelsea supporter and not say, wow, I can't believe that we're even where we are right now, based on the fact that we've not had a fit squad pretty much the entire season. If you can't look at that and rationally come to the conclusions that the injuries are a huge, huge factor into why we aren't where we expect to be, then I can't really say anything to you. I have nothing I could say to you, because I see it, I understand it, I try to verbalize it, I try to put it into words where people can maybe just come to the same conclusions that I've drawn, but everyone sees the game differently, right? When you have a squad of guys, your best player, your second best player, your third best player, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh are all taken out of your lineup. And you have to rely on 14, 15, 16, 17, game after game after game after game to try and get results for you. You're going to see points drop. The reason why we pay Conte what we pay Conte is because Conte is the best in the world. When you take him out of your side, you're going to feel the effects of that. No one can come in and fill his void. The same thing can be said about Chilwell. Chilwell's been taken out of the side right now. We're basically void of left wing backs. We can't depend on Alonso game after game after game to deliver us the level of performances that we're getting from Chilwell. And when we talk about like the board, yeah, I agree. There are some holes. We brought in, Saul Niguez, and the guy is just not a football player. He's just not somebody that can play at this level. He's Boogie's laughing. I didn't mean it like that. Like, I don't know. He's not a football player. Obviously, he's accomplished a lot in his career, but like, he's not. He can't.
I feel your pain. I feel your pain. Don't worry.
He can't bring anything to this Chelsea squad that is of any value right now, and that is a misstep from the board. That is a misstep from, like MDT said,
Scouted by Boogie.
scouted by. That is a misstep from the board. If the scouting staff don't know that this guy has not played any real football in the last 2 years, and we bring him in to be, a rotational midfielder for us, facts, Amar, facts. Never call on that guy. So, if we know this, you kind of look at things that are different, with a different tinge to it. It doesn't necessarily sting as much as it would if your expectations are, wow, we have a lot of injuries and we're still doing well. But I look at it further than that, because when we look at the squad, people say poor planning and whatnot. We haven't when you look at our midfield, for instance, we have a great complement of midfielders. We have a great complement of defenders. The problem is, when you have a lot of injuries, you can't necessarily compensate for that. You look at other squads. If any other squad lost four of their midfielders, and they're relying on their depth, their depth signings basically, or their Ross Barkleys. No other squad in world football can produce a player like even Ross Barkley as their 6th or 7th midfielder. No other squad in football. So when we're talking about the idea that Chelsea haven't really planned well this summer, and yeah, we haven't really strengthened well enough, I tend to disagree. I just think that you can't really account for the amount of injuries that we've had this year. And if you go any deeper than that, then I mean, you're kind of missing the point, I think. What we're getting from the detractors, Mo, is, I would say, a lot of the detractors that you get right now are people that, when you listen to what they're saying, they're basically they didn't think Chelsea had a chance to compete anyways. So when you hear them, they're like, oh, you see, this is what I've been saying the whole year now. Told you Chelsea can't complete. Look, they have like injuries, but look, they're 4th now, they're 3rd now. You see, like, they're 4 points back off the top. That's based on them trying to be right more than them trying to be a supporter of the club. They want to be proven right. And I don't know any team that's won the title in December. I think the title race is decided in the latter months of the year of the season. So like maybe February, March, April. Those are the months that you need to be pretty much right there or thereabouts, or you're not going to catch them. Granted, there have been seasons where teams have run away with it, and come December, there's just nobody contesting them, But I don't think that there's ever been a title won in December. We need to be there or thereabouts, get healthy, and once we get there, then we can start talking about what the title race looks like. Yep. As of right now, there's nothing between the likes of Liverpool and City, other than the fact that those two teams seem to be really healthy, and they seem to be getting great form from their best players. If we return to health, if we return to we get Conte back to fitness, Kovacic back to fitness, Lukaku survives COVID, Werner, all these guys like Chilwell. I know he's not really one that we can depend on now because of his ACL, but if we get any sort of semblance of the squad that we actually intended to have at the beginning of the year, you can't tell me this side isn't ready to compete. It's just whether or not we can withstand the injuries for as long as we have so far, and then find some form under Tuchel. And I think he's a great manager. I think he's a guy that can get teams to play the way he wants them to play. It's just a matter of time, So I'm not as reactionary I used to be. I used to get so angry. Go to the bars with my boys and get so angry about results and stuff like that. I used to walk out on my tab because I just was in such a rage. I couldn't take Chelsea losing. I'm just not like that anymore. I've seen this so many times now. Like where Chelsea, drop points where they're supposed to win, pick up points where they're supposed to lose, be out of the title race one week and then right back in it the next. I just can't react like that anymore. I got a kid. I'm older, so it doesn't really.
Can I
impact
jump
me.
in, please? Coach, can I say something quick?
Yeah, sure.
What Coach just said, that is where the problem is. You don't know how I used to react before. A lot of people think I'm crazy. No,
you're crazy.
The side that I'm showing there is more calmer than when I don't have a discussion with a lot of people. Because since I've been coming on this channel, I kind of understand other perspectives when it comes to how to accept the result from Chelsea or the performances or all those things. I'm telling you, before, when I used to be just with my family and with a limited number of people that I interact with, I break stuff every time Chelsea do something like that. I break stuff around me. So more I kind of accept it because I'm talking to other people around and just say, okay, there's a lot of Chelsea fans that manage to accept it and they see more than just being this way. So there's a lot of Chelsea fans there that don't have this chance of discussing every day. That's the other thing. We need to just even the way we talk, just say, okay, if you cannot understand, if you cannot accept, if you cannot do that, I have nothing to tell you. I just think that is too harsh because I used to be one of those guys, and I'm not anymore just because of the fact that every time I come here, I say something. Max react differently, Couch react differently, Mo react differently. Then I'm like, okay, then why these guys are not getting it? When I go back, I think about it. I'll be like, okay, maybe what is that change? What is that going to change anyways if you react like that? Then I'm like, okay, mostly that's how I come to who I am today, specifically when it comes to Chelsea. I'm just talking about Chelsea. So, but there's a lot of millions and millions of people that have no these chances.
Can I add on what Boogie just said?
Yeah, but just give me 1 second. Just give me 1 second, and I'll let you add on. What Boogie just said is exactly how most Chelsea fans feel, including myself. One of the reasons why I created this channel is purely for what he just said. So we can vent this emotion in a way where it can also be constructive. And you know what, Boogie? I used to avoid streaming or making a video about a game that we've lost until the next day. Because I believe that by waiting in a day, I would be calmer and I could do a more, a more rational review of that game. Why I actually noticed is by me not making that review until the next day, I kept that emotion within me for another 24 hours and it stayed with me. But by me actually making that stream or making that video, I actually vented it out and I moved on. And that's why I started to do it straight after the game. Within half an hour, within an hour. I'd give it a bit of time, but I do it after the game because that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to give a reaction and trying to vent it. But at the same time, it's all about doing it in a way where we are constructive. And I have noticed everyone on my panel, since they've started to come on these streams and debate, you have become a little bit, a little bit more careful and a little bit more balanced in your approach to things. And I think that is a good thing for us here as a panel. But I also have a feeling that the people who are watching the stream are also being influenced in that way and are becoming a little bit more rational and a bit more balanced in their approach to things. And that is the objective. And MDT, I apologize for cutting you off, mate. Continue.
No, don't worry. Exactly what you guys said. I stopped going to matches away because I used to have a lot of tickets, like free tickets, to go any away matches in the north of England. But I used to go with my friends. Some of them, like if they play in Aston Villa, I'll go with my Aston Villa friends. And also I have family members who are Arsenal fans or whatever. We used to banter each other after game, whichever team lose so badly, I used to switch off my phones. And I stopped going to matches because still today I can remember some of the matches that gave me nightmares. After the game, we have to go to the sport cafe to chat. I couldn't handle it. So those are things like when I get married, My wife told me, "You're too miserable. You have to stop going to football because when Chelsea lose, you come home with this mood. You make the whole weekend terrible or whatever." I, to be honest with you, more. That's why I reduced. I even stopped going. That was the reason, and I don't even go anymore to watch football with my friends because if we lose, they United fans or they Arsenal fans or whatever, they don't care about their result because they were winning. Like example, they were winning sometimes if we lose. I remember one game, Frank Lampard missed a penalty at Man City against Shea Given, and Carlos Tevez scored. Ricardo Carvalho made a mistake, and they had a free kick. They scored, and John Obi Mikel as well made another mistake. They beat us 3-0 or 3-1. I cannot forget that game because it was one of the worst day of my life. Because I had a Chelsea shirt on, coming out of that miserable stadium in Manchester. We're going to a pub, to whatever, and I was mocked from the stadium all the way to the pub, all the way home, and it was terrible. So these are the things now I can understand. With age, I can be mad at the game. As soon as the game finished, I try to rationalize it. I say, you know what? Let me look what happened or whatever. I avoid all this banter or whatever for a few days. I switch off my phone. If my brother send me a WhatsApp message, I delete it or ignore it for a few days. I'll listen to it later, ignore calls or whatever. So I try to like not to be too angry. I understand not everybody can do that. That's why when you come to this panel, you speak to people who been through the same scenario. You can at least take the emotion out of it sometimes and look at it rationally. But it's
Yeah,
not
it's like
easy.
therapy. It's like therapy
It is
sometimes,
not
right?
easy.
You know, like we're all like looking out for each other's, listening to everyone's opinion and whatnot, and you know, it cools the temperature a bit. But the thing that I think is kind of missing from that as well is just the context of things, right? Because if you looked at like City right now, for instance, right, the way they've constructed that squad, the amount of people that they have, wasting away on the bench and stuff like that, like quality players. Do you want to build a Chelsea squad like that? I don't know if I do. I don't know if I want to have like, 60 million pounds just like sitting on the bench and then, another 50 million, in reserves. I don't know if I want Chelsea to build a squad as wasteful as that. Like, like, and I don't even think we can, to be honest, because we just don't have the resources to do that. So when I look at what we're getting from Chelsea right now, I still think that we're still punching above our weight. When you look at some of the other teams that have limitless spending power, and yeah, the fact that we're still pulling in and we're still winning trophies, we're still winning cups, that should be commended. Not something that we use. We can't be looking at that as being something that we just take for granted year after year. Like this is a special period to be a Chelsea supporter, and our job as supporters is just to support. We're not always going to get the results, but we have to support the squad, support the players that that wear the shirt. As I say that, I see this guy, Saul. We need to change his name to Paul. I don't know what that means, but like I'm always after Saul
Yeah,
again. I just
yeah,
can't. I can't
Couch.
get out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, Couch with the City stuff. But City are changing. People are making this mistake to think City are coming the Chelsea way as well.
Yeah, but even
As well,
traditionally, though, you know what I mean.
you
Though,
know,
like,
yeah, you know why? Because they're gonna reduce the amount of money they spend. They're gonna use their academy more. They've started it as well. So believe me, after these players, like these their players, because Mahrez is 30, Kevin De Bruyne is 30. After this generation left, City gonna be the same situation as us. The money situation is tight, not because of they're not rich. They're not allowed to spend it, just like
exactly.
Chelsea. We're not allowed to spend certain amount of money. City too, that days are gone. You remember when Roman just come at Chelsea? Those days when we have a 21st team player, international, whatever. City are going through their period. You see now, that's why Pep Guardiola is trying to bring in all these the academy players or whatever, because in the next 2-3 years, they will go through the same process we are going through. The biggest mistake I can say, well, our board did a mistake. We had a chance when the transfer ban happened. We went and spent all that money. We shouldn't have spent all that money in one go. They should have managed it properly. Whatever situation is, the board made quite a lot of errors. So I hope they learn from that and work through that. But we have the manager now. They can build this team to last us the next 10 years if they don't mess it up. So the board they have to, and the scouting department need to change, whether we like it or not. They need an overhaul.
Yeah. You know, it's funny too.
This
Sorry,
is
go ahead.
this is a graphic by Julius. Julius, do you wanna run us through this?
Yes, so I just want to show Dennis some context here regarding the resources and how sometimes we may underestimate the financial powers that Chelsea has. And if you look at the revenues between Chelsea and City, there isn't much of a difference. That also you have to take into consideration that we have a smaller stadium. Also, we've had a lot less success or consistent success with Manchester City. So I disagree with you, Dennis, on this one, that we don't have the financial resources or the financial powers. We actually do, but we choose not to. Sometimes we've done it the summer with Frank Lampard, resulted in us having enough players to win a Champions League with a good manager. That's why we need to consistently do what actually City does in a smart way. Don't get me wrong. You can go spend 100, 200 million pounds on rubbish. You can see AC Milan that does that. Arsenal actually does that. That doesn't mean anything. It's not about only spending. It's spending smartly and planning beforehand. For example, now we are in a certain situation. We need to be planning for 2023, and we need to be having specific targets and structures and how we're going to approach those, so we don't end up having panic buys the way we do every season.
So Julius, quickly, what is this revenue of professional? What does that represent? Was that just the TV money, shirts or whatever? Like what is the all encompassing in this?
So revenues basically is not net. It's basically everything. It's the whole package. Obviously, if you're gonna break it down to the profits, you have to basically exclude the expenses. So
if you exclude the expenses, or if you include the expenses, where does Chelsea sit? Do you have an idea?
I don't have that number. We have to look at the financial report, probably. But basically,
our wage bill is pretty high, right?
Yeah, but I think the revenue is used in general. It's a metric, let's say, to assess the level of the club or the richness of the club. So based on revenues is how rich you are in a way, because you can spend more and you can make more money as well. So
right, but it doesn't take into account what your expenditures are at this point, right? It's just this is what the club's yearly turnover is.
Yes.
Okay. So I still think that I'm quite correct in what I said then, that Chelsea don't have the exact same spending power as other teams, just based on the fact that our turnover is not necessarily the same as what we are actually expending to keep ourselves where we are.
But we have actually made way more than anyone else in terms of sales.
Yeah, and player sales for sure.
Yeah, and shirt sales.
That's basically why we've been surviving, though. The fact that we've been able to turn over players, and the same board that you usually beat them with the sick. They're the ones that are selling these players.
No, for sure. But they're also spending in the wrong way. I never criticize with how we sold Morata, for example, even though it was nothing crazy. It wasn't the craziest achievement. Basically, we sold them with the same money we bought him. And there is a niche clubs that would actually like him, so we knew that. But in general, my issue with Chelsea is the panic buys, the last-minute decisions, the hesitation, and it feels sometimes we do the job, but we don't finish it. I was very happy when we were linked with Haaland last January, and I'm like, okay, maybe this time we're actually working on a complicated deal early. But when we bought Lukaku and then started to realize, okay, this is what was going on behind the scenes, I was disappointed. A lot of people said, oh, that's why we didn't get Haaland. That makes sense. For me, I don't take it this way. I actually was disappointed because why did it take us 6-7 months to know this? We were being Fabrizio Romano, this other Norwegian journalist, I forgot his name. Yeah, I think. a lot of the top tier sources, especially the ones around Haaland camp, were still linking us with Chelsea, linking us with them, and there was something going on, and then all of a sudden things went sideways with that transfer. So for me,
but you do understand why. Like now that you're looking at the finances of things, you can see why that deal went sideways, right? Like that's a lot of money.
why did it take us too long, and why didn't we not plan this ahead? You know,
What do
like
you mean,
we
what
are so hesitant.
a deal of that size, takes a long time. Without that, that would have been the biggest deal Chelsea have ever put together.
For sure, but you
And
need
like even with that, there was still like a blowback from Dortmund and the agent and all these other guys. So like it's not. I'm not saying that they went about it the right way, but I mean, if we look at it from a different perspective, it looks like it's a big deal. You know. Go ahead. Sorry.
I wanna look at it. I wanna look at this. Look, for Chelsea to progress, because like we said, there are issues. And one of those issues is with Julius highlighted it quite well in regards to finances. I know MDT sent me some graphs. That we can look at in due course. If he wants me to bring them up on the screen, I'm happy to do so. MDT, and then you can go through them if you want to. But the thing is, we'll address them in a second. But what I want to look at is this: what do Chelsea need to do moving forward? And I don't just mean. I mean, this season naturally is our short-term goal. But our long-term goal, what does Chelsea actually need to do? Because the problems that we're having with the finances, they're not coming from nowhere. We can look deep into shirt sales, into revenue from tickets, from VIP boxes, from TV rights commercial. We can look at all of that, but that really requires a deep dive into the finances of the club. Us as fans, we like to look at what's in front of us, what is tangible for us as fans, and we deal with players, we deal with performances, we deal with these things. The other things, they're important, but for us to address them, it's a little bit more difficult. And one of the issues that I use as a benchmark for me, and I rightly or wrongly, but it's a benchmark that I use for me, is looking at what Chelsea do in the transfer window. Now, I, like all of you, wanted to see Erling Haaland come in. However, when I started to see the numbers that was being quoted, I was a little bit less happy to see that happen, especially when it was linked to an agent that I know is problematic. That being said, the route our club did take was not to bring in someone who is less known, someone who could be a stopgap for us to get Erling Haaland maybe the following year. But the route we went down was to spend £100 million and get Romelu Lukaku. In my opinion, a good player. But was it a good decision to get Romelu Lukaku for that price at that point in the season, in the transfer window? Because we actually got Romelu Lukaku towards the very last few weeks of the transfer window. So was that the right decision? Should have Chelsea had a plan B, not Romelu Lukaku, someone else at a different price?
So
No, plan B. No, plan B, because I don't think their plan B was adequate. I don't think Lukaku should have been a plan B, because if you're looking from a financial perspective, is Romelu Lukaku a good buy financially, a good deal done financially? Mm-hmm. I personally think he's a good player. But is he of that value? Did we do the right decision financially? That is a different debate.
Can I answer that real quick? Because let
me finish, Couch. And that is one benchmark. The second benchmark is the Saúl Ñíguez transfer, because I'm looking at what we did in the window. All right, that's how I set my expectations and my understanding of the financial thinking behind what Chelsea are doing. The second aspect was Saúl Ñíguez, a player that has been scouted for 2 years as per Chelsea's own admission. A player that has been scouted for 2 years, not a player that we've seen play football for 2 years, that we've watched on TV for 2 years, a player that we've been scouting for 2 years. What does scouting mean? It means we look at his diet, we look at his health, we look at his interactions, we look at every aspect of him as a player and what he is achieving on that football pitch. Now, Chelsea have been doing that for 2 years with Saúl Ñíguez, and based on that, they paid him a salary which they wouldn't pay some of our best players in the club right now. And on top of that, we are paying €5 million, I believe, or was it pounds, a sign-on fee, either euros or pounds, 5 million for a loan deal for 1 year. Now, to me, that sets that alarm bells have to ring with that. Alarm bells have to ring. Because if you have been scouting him for 2 years and you see his performances since he's come to Chelsea Football Club,
Fuck you.
I can't trust any scouting report or decision by Chelsea Football Club moving forward. I can't. Because this is the result. That's why we got Saúl Ñíguez. Because we did scout him for 2 years. The flip side is Petr Cech scouted Mendy, and that turned out well. So there is contradictions. But, so we're looking at the finances. These are my two benchmarks. Rightly or wrongly, that's how I look at it. Now, I'll let Couch come in, and then I'll go to MDT, because MDT has graphs and reports that we can share with you guys on the screen. But I'll go to Couch first.
Yeah, I was just going to basically jump on what you're saying, and you basically stole my thunder because you went right to the source of the problem. And you keep doing this, man. Just let me speak, man. Let me speak.
Sorry, man. Sorry, man.
Yeah, but it goes right back to what you just said, man. It's the scouting department, man. Like, when was the last time Chelsea found a real diamond in the rough? I mean, Mendy, yeah, sure. Cech used his resources at Rennes to find him. Like, it wasn't like these scouts are doing a deep dive to find Mendy, but when was the last time we actually hit on something like that? Like, I can't tell you the last time. Anytime we go into the transfer market, it's for a known commodity and somebody that, we'd like to think, oh, yeah, this is going to be the player that takes us to the next level. And none of them have hit that way. Absolutely none of them have hit that way other than N'Golo Kante, however many years ago that was now. Every other player that we brought in has been like, or, oh, really? Or, okay.
Yeah.
It's not been a knock out of the park, and that's where the difference is right now between us and some of these other squads, I mean, Liverpool, for one, obviously, Klopp has been there for a minute, and they use the transfer money from Coutinho to basically build their team, and he was basically hands-on in selecting who he wanted for his squad. Maybe Chelsea need to involve the head coach more in the decisions, and make him more of a manager, like they're supposed to be, because right now, when we have this technical director and we have the scouting staff and we have the directors, and they consult the head coach to make these decisions, what we're missing is we're not really building the squad in the image of the manager, and then we end up basically punishing the manager for not getting results because they bring in players that he can't necessarily work with. I mean, that's been happening since Jose. I mean, since Jose, this has been happening. And it's just a reoccurring thing year after year after year. And then on top of that, they say, well, we're giving you all this money. We spent all this money. But yes, you have no vision, no plan, no philosophy of football. You go from Jose to Antonio Conte, somewhat similar, but a completely different setup. Then you go from Conte, you go to Maurizio Sarri, who's a completely different application of football, right? Completely different. And then you go from Sarri to Lampard, and here we are at Tuchel. All within a span of like 6 or 7 years, 5 or 6 years, right? And you expect now the squad that you have a limited budget on to assemble, because we don't have the resources to just like chop and change.
Exactly.
You want this manager to come in and work with the squad that you have implement his philosophy and be successful, win titles, win trophies. And then when he doesn't in 18 months, you bring in another manager with completely different philosophy, and you're looking for the exact same results
Back to
with
square
a
one.
roster that you can't overturn. You can't overturn the roster because there's just nobody's buying Danny Drinkwater. You know what I mean? Nobody's buying Bakayoko. So these are the problems that continually persist. Like absolutely no vision, no patience, and no foresight for what happens, what the ramifications are for your decisions. And it continually happens again and again and again.
Yep. No, spot on, couch. Mo, do you want me to pick a specific chart, or do you want me to bring it up on the screen and then you can tell me which chart you want me to bring on?
No, anyone you bring up, we'll go through it.
All right, I'm gonna share the Twitter feed, MDT. All right. So this is what I've got, MDT. Which one do you want me to look at first? This one? Premier table.
Yeah.
Premier. All right. Has it come up on the screen? No, it hasn't. Let's share it on. Okay, let's see.
I don't think at MGT, which window you do use? Windows XP?
No, it's on mine. It's on mine. Hold on.
I think I use AOL or IBM.
Hold on. I'm going to try to.
I think
What?
Boogie Chelsea have to sack you for this scouting report you've been doing.
All right. Talk us through it. MDT.
Yeah, this is when Manchester City had 4 injuries that season. You remember when they had Laporte injured, De Bruyne, and what's his name again? Leroy Sané. Look the point difference between them and Liverpool that season. That was the Manchester City.
Was it in December?
No, that the whole season.
Okay.
They missed three players.
2019 to 2020 season.
Yeah, they missed 3 players for majority for quite a period in the season. De Bruyne was even not for long, but Laporte and what's his name and Leroy Sané was for a long time. And this is what happened to their season.
9
Liverpool
losses.
run away with the league. Thank you very much. Okay, go with the Liverpool one. When they missed their defensive line, just their defensive line, they missed that season. What happened? We finished the same point with them. So sometimes this is why when I was mad yesterday at the result, I start thinking, you know what? Sometimes I need maybe I need to calm down. When you look at it, this manager is playing with 7. Our defensive line, they're not fit. We have 7 unfit players in our starting 11 yesterday. People think because of the play against kids, those kids were full of energy. Our players were tired. They were exhausted. Rudiger is exhausted. Thiago Silva is exhausted. Alonso is exhausted. Ruben and Jorginho have been playing with injured and they're exhausted. So imagine if you're playing with the team, Reece James is exhausted. Okay, if you're playing like that, and okay, this one is Tottenham. Look at Tottenham, useless Tottenham. They've not won anything. Boogie, can you see their total revenue at the bottom? What they earning compared to look at the bottom? Just check. It's over 100 and something just on their stadium alone. Look, the past few seasons. Look, there at the bottom, the total revenue per season. Are you seeing it?
Total. I'll read it out for you guys. I'll read it out.
135.
That's for this year.
Okay, so
last year was 127, then 105. Yeah.
Useless Tottenham. Okay, more show them the Chelsea one.
The Chelsea one. Hold on. Oops. Sorry.
Sorry, guys, I had to jump on a call. I missed what you were talking about.
Rewind and come back,
sorry.
man.
Yeah, I'm just bringing up the Chelsea revenue on the screen in a moment. Hold on. Okay, this is the Chelsea one. Okay, Chelsea
Boogie,
revenue.
can you see our highest our highest ever revenue was a few years ago. We've never ever break 90. Tottenham hasn't won anything. They're in the 100 and something, 100 and they're looking at 120. Their stadium. Chelsea revenue is coming from commercial. Some of them is the players, some of them is the club, whatever, commercial revenue. That's where it's coming from, but not our stadium. Our stadium revenue, we might be 40 to 60 million down on Tottenham next season if the COVID didn't interfere. So if anybody think that we can compete financially, it's a mistake. We can compete when it comes to like the advertisement and things like that, promotional side, okay? But not on stadium revenue. We always down. So if Tottenham can buy players if they want, Chelsea cannot afford. Unless our owner dip into their pocket. It doesn't matter how many trophies. If somebody is making 40 to 60 million more than you in their stadium alone, that's Tottenham. I'm not talking about Man City because Man City don't generate that much. But Manchester United is making 300 and something million of their stadium alone.
Very good
Okay,
point.
so the problem is Chelsea fans have to realize this. We have to increase the corporate capacity in our stadium. Just by 50%, if we increase it, we will make over 50 million more in our stadium. Just like Stamford Bridge stay the same way, just increase the stadium, increase the corporate revenue.
Sorry, MDT. This is I found the file. This is the clubs one at a time. So this is Arsenal. I'll run through all the clubs. This is Arsenal. They've hit 100 plus pretty much every year.
Okay.
For their match day revenue.
So
this is Liverpool.
you see,
Liverpool have been weak.
Yeah, but you remember more. They didn't extend their stadium. They just extended last year. So now they're going up. So now even Liverpool will be making way more than us. We have a problem. We have to realize this.
Manchester United. Wow, Manchester United, man. Look at that. Look at them numbers, man. Look at them numbers.
Yeah, but increasing the corporate seat mean reducing people like me the number of seats, right?
No, not necessarily. They can just increase the corporate seat, increase our seat maybe by 2,000 or whatever. But fans don't like that. But that was the plan. That was the original plan. Sorry, that was the original plan, Boogie. If you read it, they were gonna increase the normal fan seat. I think is it by how much? By maybe 7,000. But the corporate seat will be increased by 50 to 60%, which will put us in line to compete with other clubs. But fans were not happy with that as well. But they were never gonna reduce. They were never gonna reduce the normal fans seats. We need the corporate seat. As much as they might be empty, they're the one that pay the money. If we want to compete, we have to bring in the prawn sandwich brigade in. If we want to keep it we want to keep it the way it is, we're gonna struggle. And also, the other part is our scout. Like Couch said this, Mo, you said this as well. I believe it was a mistake this summer to sign. Not that I'm against his footballing ability or whatever. I don't believe in spending 100 million on one player. Because the problem you have is, if you don't win a title every season for the duration of their contract, you are in trouble. Because the 100 million, there's no way you will sell that player and make that money back. That's why I was always against it. And also, if you want to bring him in, you should have brought him in early in the summer. He will have a preseason with his teammates. So the planning was all wrong.
Yeah. The actual signing of Lukaku, the timing, and I said plan B, and Cal said no, it should have been a plan C. No, I wanted Lukaku either to be the main target and to be the main target for a different transfer budget, or not to have been looked at as a plan B, because when you are putting all of your eggs in the Erling Haaland basket and then you don't get Erling Haaland, you're putting yourself in a very, very awkward position, and that's what happened. Chelsea could have done it in a different manner. You see, I want to address something else in regards to expectations. You see, we build ourselves up so high as a fan base that we set ourselves to failure. We set ourselves to failure. You see, we all started talking about Chelsea winning winning the Premier League at the start of last season under Lampard. We had a good run, and then everybody's like, "Yeah, we're winning it, we're winning it, we're winning it." And then when we had that dip in form, everyone lost hope. This season, and from day one, Tuchel said we will be hunting Manchester City. We will be hunting them. Our goal is to close that gap. We, the fan base, we set ourselves, we're going to win the Premier League. We want to. Of course we want to. We have the ability, we have the players, but we are still a work in progress, lads. We're still a work in progress. That's number one, in regards to the team. And number two, in regards to the players. Why do we always try to overhype our players, and when they don't perform to that level, we start to break them down? We overhype them and then we break them down. Why? Half of our team are youngsters. Half of our team are still developing. They are still developing. Yet we are calling them world class. We are calling them legends. We are calling them, generational talents and all them kind of labels. Why? Why can't they just be, good players that are playing for Chelsea and performing well and doing their best, and hopefully they will get some honors and accolades and whatnot? Why are we putting them on these pedestals and waiting for them to fall off them? Why?
Good point.
We are the ones that are trying. We are the ones that are hurting our own players, and then we talk about other fan bases. Talking about who's better, Trent or Reece James. What is it even? What conversation is that all about? I mean, what are we going to gain from having that conversation? I tell you, I think Reece James. Exactly. And what is the point? We as a fan base, we know we've got a great player in Reece James.
Exactly.
But Reece James, lads, he's up and coming still, developing still. He's got a long way to reach his potential, his peak potential. Is he a good player? Yes, he's a fantastic player. But we shouldn't. It's like the miss that he made yesterday. Do you know why we expected him to score? Because he has some good games and he scored.
Yeah.
Okay. He's the best finisher. Even I'm guilty of this. I said Reece James is a cheat code on that right hand side.
Yeah.
I said it. As a fan, we get excited and we react, but let's be a little bit more logical and less emotional. And it's hard, very hard, but let's try to do it every now and then. I want to say something. The financial aspect we all discussed and we all know, and big up to Julius, big up to MDT for all these graphs and all of these bits of data. We know we have issues when it comes to revenue from the stadium. We have a small stadium. We have a long way to go to be able to compete financially with the big boys. What do you guys think in regards to our player development? And really, I want to address this question to MDT, and then he'll get the ball rolling, and then we'll discuss this. Because Chelsea used to mix it up with the best of them at youth level, and now we're lacking. Are we going to have a little bit of a drought when it comes to up and coming players? MDT, what do you guys think about that? Is that an issue we're going to be facing pretty soon?
Yeah, I think this is where I agree with Julius a lot. We've messed it up big time. The youth team. I don't see Chelsea youth team being good in the next 5 years. I'm being honest with you. We have a problem. We have a big problem. If we don't, this is the last generation, the Conor Gallagher generation, the Billy Gilmore and Durin generation is the last generation. I think we have players that can go to the top. Harvey Vale, for me personally, he will only be Harvey Vale out of the current youth team, not even Mbuyamba. I don't think he will be a Chelsea player. We might develop him to sell him, but I don't think he will be a Chelsea player. I'm saying that because I follow the youth team. We are It's either we capitalize on this crop we have. It happened to Barcelona. People forgot that after the Fabregas, Iniesta, PK generation, what happened? De La Feo, those are the ones that were coming through. They were not Barcelona product anymore. Okay, Chelsea, we've lost. This is the last generation we have, the Anjurin generation. That's it. The under 16, they look promising, but you don't know yet. But the under 18 are not very good. The under 20, 21 or whatever, 23 or whatever, they're not good. We are struggling. If anybody think we have youth players that are coming through into the first team anytime soon, you're mistaken. Chelsea have cashed all their check. They've sold them. They've whatever. And if we get rid of the Conor Gallagher and Billy Gilmore and the Anjurins and whatever, forget it. We have to buy now. And we don't have the money to compete. The Cobham youth right now, this is our cash. We've checked on Gohi. We checked on Tamori. All those players. And that was a mistake. Boy, it happened. So this is why I don't understand. How can the board thinking that this is a machine that will continue? It goes in cycle. Our cycle is finishing in youth team. Right now, the Arsenal youth team are better than ours. The Man City one is giving us run for our money. Manchester United even have a better youth team than ours now. And the players we had in our youth team that should have stayed, they've left. One went to Juventus. When you look around Europe right now, Chelsea youth team are all over the top teams now. Everyone have one or two. Because the players don't see a way. They always feel like all Chelsea do is send them on loan, make money out of them. So as soon as they get to that 18, they refuse to sign contracts. Chelsea have to sell them for 350,000 euro compensation and things like that. We have Ilianga is at Juventus. Soon you're gonna see him, just like Jamal Musiala at Bayern Munich. Because our scouting has been poor, we go and buy youth players from other people's team and pay big money for them, and other people are coming in our youth team and picking our players for free. Almost, because the compensation, if a European team take your player, they only pay less than 500,000 euro maximum. So for me, Chelsea fans should realize that if we don't work on these young players we have currently, forget it. You think we're struggling now? Wait until in the next 5 years. Let's get rid of these players and see what happens. We will even be worse. We'll be like competing. Like, remember when we were struggling to get into the top four? That's the way we're going if we don't plan right. And we have to revamp our scouting department. It's been terrible. Stop paying for players' clauses. Start doing proper scouting like the Aspi, like the Ivanovic, people like that. Okay, but all we do now is pay player clauses. You know, for me, we are in trouble when it comes to the youth team. That's what I can say for now. I'll be surprised if we have another youth player, apart from Harvey Vale, that break into the first team in the next 3-4 years.
All right. Cheers, Mo. Does anybody else want to come in on this?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, can I say something?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So I totally agree with MDT, yeah, but the thing is, actually, we've got loads of youth players already in our system right now. And before we'll be needing any more youth players, I think it would be a very long time. I think it would take before we would need to actually promote, a youth player to the first squad. It will be a very long time. We've still got Hudson-Odoi that is just over 21. He hasn't even started, playing games. Mason Mount is in there. Trevor Chalobah as well as in there. Gallagher is out there on loan. Billy Gilmore is also there. So we've got and we do not want the old squad to be just Cobham graduate and something. So I think as it might look like a bad piece of business for the youth squad, to some extent there is a balance. They've got time to rejuvenate the youth squad and make it something great where we could have players promoted into the first team. I think they've got time to actually do. They would have probably thought of it because it's well saturated. Lampard really did a good job promoting most of these players, giving them the space to actually shine. So I think they've got enough time to actually fix things in that youth squad.
Okay, I just want to clarify something. And, I'll let Boogeyman come in after I make this clarification. The reason why I was addressing the youth setup, not because I want to see more breakthrough into our team, it's because the youth setup has always been a good moneymaker for Chelsea, in regards to developing players that we can sell and generate some revenue. So from that aspect, and we've had a big chunk sold in the last window, and I was wondering if we can, generate more of that level. And from what I've seen, and I'm not a big follower of the youth development, to be honest, and I know MDT is on point when it comes to that, and that's why I asked him. But from what I have seen, they haven't been that great, and these results matter when it comes to us trying to sell them and trying to generate revenue. Boogie, let me hear what you had to say, mate.
Listen, I understand what MDT said about the following generation, or the U18 are not as good as the previous generation, or the one that we sold and all those things. But I mean, since I've known Chelsea and support Chelsea, every big talent that people kind of said there's going to be the one that broke through the first team has never done it. So maybe the U18 that we have right now, and we don't have that much trust in them. Maybe they might get a lot of surprise in that group. So with I don't mind if they don't win the league. I don't mind if they not ripping up the tree in the U and the second L2 EPL2 division, as long as the board or we have a path for them to come into the first team and show what they can do. I'm happy, because at this point, what we saw with Liverpool, or even I think mainly with Everton, like, they play a lot of 18, 19, 17 kids. So I just want Chelsea to do stuff like that, whether they're good or not. They are Chelsea product. They've been there since they were six. Whether they talented or not, bring them in, because all it takes is the will to do it. Because if you see that those Everton kids yesterday, they're just fighting. In fact, they're not playing football. They were fighting. They're not resting. They keep running, pushing, and everything. They're ready to even punch our players. If we can give those sentiment to our U18, I don't mind. I don't
Well,
care if
what's
they.
the difference? What's the difference between Chelsea and other clubs like, say, Liverpool and City and even Everton, for that matter? It's the stability. Like, no manager that's going to be here for like a year and a bit is going to like play a bunch of kids, knowing that their job's at stake. So it starts at the top. If the expectation is to win titles, to win cups and whatnot, then you can't expect a new manager coming in to just blood in the youth. Like we saw under Frank, because Frank had a transfer ban. You saw the very next year after the transfer ban was lifted, Frank went into the market and record amount spent. You know what I mean? So these are the expectations. When Chelsea go into the market, the expectation is to win. When Chelsea don't go into the
Right.
market, the expectation
Couch,
is to win.
I'm gonna ask you this, Couch. Do you remember when Conte wanted to go in the market and buy some players? How the board responded? Do you remember that?
What do you mean, the first year or the second year?
Both years,
Okay, the
both
first
years.
year they backed him.
Not debatable on backing him.
N'Golo Kante?
No. The point I'm trying to make is this: backing a manager has levels. For example, when we signed Sorry with Jorginho. We had a package deal. So Sorry would come in with Jorginho. So before he even came through that door, he brought in a signing with him.
Hmm.
Now, when it came to Frank Lampard, the first window was a winter window
Hmm.
because of the transfer ban. So the first window he had was a winter window where we were able to sign Ziyech right at the end, and he wasn't able to join us until the summer.
Hmm.
But then in the summer, they let it rip. They backed him on every player that he wanted, including Ben Chilwell, which there was a big debate about whether we should get him, whether we should get The Argentinian guy from Ajax, I'm forgetting his name. Anyway, there's a few names being mentioned. The thing is this: Tuchel didn't really have the same backing in his transfer window as Lampard did. The other managers didn't have the same backing as Lampard got.
Right.
Now, I know you will say there was a transfer ban and there was money built up to buy players, but hey, listen, we bought nearly a whole team. Nearly a whole team we bought in for Lampard. Now,
Right.
the way Tuchel is, yes, we did spend £100 million on what. Yeah, cheers, Verana. Yeah, Tagliafico, that's the name I was looking for. Yes, we did spend £100 million on one player for him, and we did get a so-called all-rounder in Saul. But I don't think we backed Tuchel in the transfer window.
I'm not going to deny that.
And-
But I'm trying to get what's the point then? Like, so okay.
The point is this. I think the way forward for us with Tuchel is to enable Tuchel to buy or to build the team in the way that he wants to build them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
for
but
him,
that's not the way the structure of the club is being run right now, right?
Yeah.
exactly.
But we don't have to
Exactly.
agree with it, Dennis. We don't have to agree with it as fan base.
No, I would love to see that. I would love to see a squad built in the image of the manager, but
Yeah.
very difficult to do. And on top of that,
Because
we saw that.
Couch.
Just one second. We saw that
Pep.
under Jose Mourinho too, eh? And when he sold all those players that everyone is pissed off that he sold, that was
Yep.
Jose's team. He
No,
sold
no, but
Yeah.
that wasn't.
Yeah.
Jose
Yeah,
didn't
but-
sell what's his name, De Bruyne and Salah. He didn't sell them.
Salah.
It wasn't his
sold
decision.
Mata.
Yeah, but Mata, what did he do with Man U? He was okay. He wasn't amazing.
Regardless, he still sold those players to buy the players that he wanted.
And we won the league afterwards, and we failed to back him
I'm
up
not
the year
denying
after.
that, but I'm just saying if you want a squad to be built in the image of the manager, you have to know that this is going to happen. So,
Couch,
like, you sell all
Couch.
this talent, and then you bring in a couple
point
players.
is,
Like,
the point,
know-
the point is to win the Premier League, and to be consistent in the Premier League, you need a manager and a squad built into the system of that manager, and that's what we've seen with
Absolutely.
Pep. That's what we've seen with Klopp. Like, these are the two most successful managers currently playing in the Premier League. And for me, I want to see the same thing happen with Tuchel. I want to see the board and the club back Tuchel in a way where we are able to build a team that plays to his system, to his philosophy, to his strength. Okay,
preaching to the choir, bro.
Yeah, but what is it?
How do we do that? What do we need to do
I
to
think I
get
said
that to
it.
happen
Like,
at Chelsea Football
I
Club?
said it. Like, you have to remove this stupid title of head coach, make him the manager, and put him in
Manager.
charge of his own transfers. You know,
Yeah.
like, listen, these are the players. Here's my short list of players that I need to fulfill the squad to fulfill the style of football that I need. And I'm sure that that's what happened in the summer. Let's be honest. I'm sure that that's what happened this summer, and the board failed them. Like, we were talking about the Hakimis, potentially even what was his name?
Adama Traore.
Traore, you know, obviously Holland,
Traore.
Chouameni. Like, these aren't guys that I think that are board signings because these are actually good players. And I don't think the board understands what a good player looks like, to be honest with you. So I'm of the opinion that unless you give him the reins to say you are the manager of this club, reinstate him as manager of the club, where that hasn't been the case since Jose returned. It's been like this hierarchy of the board taking on the responsibility of being the purveyors of
Yeah,
who
but-
comes into this club.
Coach,
Yeah,
Coach, there are two sides to this. The board need to give him a little bit of leeway to do it, but Tuchel himself has said he's not comfortable doing it because of previous
Yeah.
club. That was his issue, because he was involved in transfer. It caused problem between him and the board, so he was comfortable with this whatever. But one thing Tuchel wanted to do at Chelsea, he didn't have time because of the shot. He wanted to look at all the players. But what ended up happening, Chelsea have nearly 40 to 60 players on loan and different whatever. So he didn't have time. He relied on the scouting department to bring some information on certain players he doesn't know about much. So he didn't have enough time to go through the whole squad as well to make a decision. That's what I believe that he's doing that now. I bet in this summer things will be different.
Yeah.
Because now it's him that have scouted the player on his own, not depending on the Chelsea scouting department to bring information about players. And also because of he didn't want to be a burden on the board like at PSG when he was on when he was fighting always with Leonardo, and Dortmund with the directors as well because of player incoming. So he said it
what?
himself.
You know
So
what? Though?
I believe
that's
he's
part of
gonna
the
change.
problem, though. That's part of the problem, though.
Yeah,
Because what you're talking about is he has to have the trust and the faith of the board. Like if he's just going to maintain the head coaching staff,
yeah,
then you have to trust your directors to be able to fulfill their job effectively. And as you just rightfully said, like our scouts, our technical directors and whatnot, our scouts are not up to snuff. So then if you want to see an improvement in our recruitment and whatnot, then you have to either give Tuchel the reins, which, as you say, he may not want, or hire somebody that actually understands what he's doing. And that we haven't seen the likes of that since Michael Emenalo's left. Like, let's be real. You know, Michael Emenalo was the guy that built the foundation of this Chelsea team right now. You know? So that's just it for me.
Yeah, if I could like just chip something in, it also depends on the manager as well, as MDT just said. It was like the manager as well needs to be like really strong-willed about the kind of players he wants, and he needs to like really take it up, like take it serious. But you know, seeing Tuchel's body language is kind of, you know, his kind of person is a really kind of cool, pragmatic. If they're like, okay, we can only get this player, okay, it'll be like that would work. I can work with the players that you would give to me or something like that. But we knew he wanted, I think, Adama Traore. I guess you guys knew he wanted that player, but we didn't get him, and Tuchel didn't really, you know, gloat about it. It was like, oh, we have enough in the squad. We've got this, we've got that. Imagine it was Jose Mourinho. It will drag it to the last. I can't win any game without Adama Traore. Get me Adama Traore. And I think the board would just have to, you know, succumb to, you know, his wishes. But it feels Tuchel is just
Well, that's Jorge, as you say that, like we had Conte that did the exact same thing. I want Lukaku. Get me Lukaku. I want so and so. Get me so and so. And then they just they get upset when you demand these players, and then they end up giving you Morata and saying that's good enough. You know, they give you Danny Drinkwater and they say that's good enough. You know what I mean? Like that's the problem. Like we have a hierarchy that is just basically so dominant right now. They don't listen to what's being told to them, you know. And at the end of the day, when it comes time for, you know, somebody to be blamed for the results, they blame the manager and they continue their job, even though their job has been somewhat, you know, so.
Guys,
you know?
1 second. Julius, is this video in English?
Yes.
It's in English. All right, we're going to actually watch it on stream. We're going to watch it on stream.
But how long is it?
It's 14 minutes. It's 14 minutes, but I really want to watch this.
Yeah,
I really want to watch this.
Yeah, but before I'd like to say something quick, just one few seconds.
Go on.
I understand the ball has to back Tuchel. Problem I noticed with Tuchel is he seemed to be satisfied with whatever he had right now.
Yeah.
He kept saying in my face that whatever decision is made in this Chelsea club, he is part of it. Whatever decision, he keeps saying that to my face. So as a fan, guess what? I just feel like he's part of it because I can only trust what he's saying. Because for some reason,
he's not trying to rock the boat. He's trying not to rock the boat at this point in time.
Yeah.
I don't think so. For me, for some reason, I feel like that actually the board is listening to Tuchel, and Tuchel keeps saying, okay. I mean, I don't think Tuchel wants Saul at this point now.
Of course. Well, but think about it, though. Think about his previous tenure. And, like, this video will probably help you with that. He was always a guy that would, like, be stoking fires with the directors and whatnot. Like, that's his personality type. So, at this point in time, I think he's just like, you know what, I'm just going to bide my time, you know. I have 18-month contract anyways, or however long it is. I think it's only 18 months, maybe 2 years. What's the point in, like, an upward right now?
Exactly.
All right, listen, lads, we're going to watch a video. And before I watch this video, I'm going to put the link to the video here in the stream because it's only fair that we acknowledge the source of this video. I will also, if I don't forget, link it in the descriptions for anyone who wants to watch it later. The video is actually published on a channel called DWKP kickoff. I think it's a German channel. The title of the video is "How Thomas Tuchel Became the Best Coach in the World." It's recommended by Julius. Let's watch it and then we'll discuss it afterwards. I have a feeling it'll be a good watch. So let's enjoy it together. It's 14 minutes long, guys. 15 minutes.
And Chelsea won the Champions League. Just 4 months after taking over the stuttering side, he led them to the biggest trophy in European club football.
It's a huge step to arrive in the final. It's an even bigger one to bite your way through.
In just 4 months, he had made everyone forget about his predecessor, Chelsea legend Frank Lampard.
Why Chelsea?
Why not?
4 months in which Chelsea beat a string of top teams in England and beyond. And they did it without conceding a single goal against any of them.
He's an outstanding coach.
De beste trainer der Welt.
Thomas Tuchel never had Klopp's charisma, Guardiola's intellectual aura, or Simeone's raw energy, but he learned from all of them and now stands at the top of the coaching pyramid. What makes Tuchel tick? And how did he become the best coach in the world? To understand Thomas Tuchel, we have to go back to 2009. Michael Jackson had just died. Barack Obama was the new president.
Yes, we can. Thank you.
And a 35-year-old inexperienced youth coach took over at Bundesliga side Mainz. A club where another exciting young coach, Jürgen Klopp, had started his own career.
Es gibt auch Schlimmeres irgendwie, als mit Jürgen Klopp verglichen zu werden.
We know each other for a long time. We have kind of a common history, if you want. He worked for Mainz like I did.
Back then, we met the unknown Tuchel at Little Mainz. From an early stage, he had his eye on the biggest coaches in the game.
Pep Guardiola von Barcelona gibt kein einziges Einzelinterview, keines. Das fand ich interessant, weil letztendlich vom erfolgreichsten Club der Welt und von einem der größten Clubs der Welt die Hauptperson letztendlich sich dann auch erlaubt, keine Einzelinterviews zu geben.
Even as he made his first steps in the Bundesliga, he was learning from the very best. Tuchel's playing career had ended at 25 due to a knee injury, so he studied economics and worked at a bar before returning to football as a youth coach. Soon, he arrived at Mainz.
Dienstag, erstes Training, Samstag, erstes Punktspiel. Die Mannschaft ist bereits ausgeschieden beim Viertligisten im Pokal. Also es ist idealer Zeitpunkt, um als absoluter No-Name mal auf die Bühne zu treten.
The experiment was a resounding success. The unknown led Mainz to 9th place, at that time their best ever finish. His second season was even better, as Mainz qualified for the Europa League. Soon enough, Tuchel resembled a coach of a top team, rather than a club that's used to battling relegation.
Mir geht es viel mehr um meine Leidenschaft, um meine Sehnsucht. Das ist einfach das perfekte Spiel, die perfekte Trainingswoche.
Training has always been at the heart of Tuchel's success, and his methods were revolutionary. For example, to stop his players relying on long balls out wide, he cut off the corners of the pitch.
Wir trainieren in extrem verengten und veränderten Räumen, diamantfarbenes Spielfeld. Wir trainieren im Kreis, wir trainieren auf 18 Meter Spielfeldbreite mal 75 Meter Länge auf 2 Tore. Wir trainieren auf 30 Meter Länge, aber 70 Meter Breite auf 2 Tore. Im Feld und sie haben wieder eine neue Grundordnung. Und da habe ich gedacht, was? 6? Wer?
But this is also one of Tuchel's biggest problems. To him, players have always been a means to an end, pawns in his 4D chess game, who he can move around at will. And that means sometimes the human touch is missing. Tuchel is a driven personality, a perfectionist. His expectation of consistent excellence creates friction with some players.
Es ist kein einziger Ball dabei für unser Spiel. Es ist nur dein eigenes Spiel. Hier noch ein Trick, da noch ein Trick und hier noch eine Idee. Und keine einzige klappt davon.
One former player said, "What he did to me was 100% bullying. He's a dictator." You'd never hear a player say that about Klopp, who has always worked hard to get the whole squad on board with his ideas. Tuchel has the edge on Klopp tactically, but not when it comes to the personal side of the job. Tuchel has never escaped the Klopp comparisons. In fact, he encouraged them. For example, in 2015, when he moved to Dortmund and, just like in Mainz, succeeded Klopp.
Es ist völlig selbstverständlich für mich, mit der größtmöglichen Anerkennung und Wertschätzung diese herausragende Trainerleistung von Jürgen in den vergangenen 7 Jahren anzuerkennen.
The cerebral, meticulous perfectionist Tuchel took over one of the most emotional clubs in the world. This was just before his first training session. He was happy to get his hands dirty and set things up himself, a job usually passed off to an assistant. Tuchel planned every session in exact detail, right down to the centimetre. And it worked. Tuchel won more points per game than any other Dortmund coach ever. And in each of his 2 years with the team, he led them to the cup final, winning it once. He also achieved the best points total of any second-placed team in Bundesliga history. Unfortunately for him, Pep and Bayern were even better. These were Tuchel's first battles with Guardiola. The two tactical masterminds met on the sidelines in the Bundesliga and often after games for dinner too. Another situation where Tuchel could learn from the very best.
Es ist bekannt, wie dass Pep Guardiola auch auf eine Art und Weise ein Vorbild ist. Und das war sehr, sehr interessant für mich, weil ich den Austausch mit solchen Persönlichkeiten natürlich liebe und auch suche und das ein Weg ist für mich, besser zu werden.
Tuchel also improved his players, the likes of Mats Hummels, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, Henrik Mkhitaryan and Marco Reus were at their best in his reign. Tuchel moved Dortmund away from Klopp's heavy metal football to a flexible possession-based game, where the man with the ball always has multiple options. But players are people too, and football doesn't always make sense. Tuchel learned that lesson on the 14th of April, 2016. It was the Europa League quarter-final second leg. Tuchel's Dortmund met Klopp's Liverpool. With an hour played, Dortmund led 3-1. Liverpool needed 3 goals to progress. And then it happened. After the Reds pulled one back, Jurgen Klopp ignited the whole stadium.
It was just like everybody believed here in this lucky punch.
With the fans roaring them on, Liverpool pulled off a miracle, scoring the winner in the 91st minute.
It is perhaps the greatest comeback that Anfield has ever seen.
The game was to be a turning point in Tuchel's career.
If you expect an explanation, I probably have to disappoint you because, an explanation would mean that things are kind of logical or tactical.
But that's football. Sometimes logic counts for nothing, and belief, desire, and team spirit decide games. 5 years on, Tuchel tied all the necessary components together to win the Champions League. Klopp had showed him the way. But in between, there was another defining episode for Tuchel.
Continuing with our breaking news, this coming out of Germany. Police in Dortmund have confirmed that at least 3 explosions have occurred.
On the way to a Champions League quarter-final game, Dortmund's team bus was bombed. One player, Marc Bartra, was badly injured. The team was in shock, but after discussions between club bosses and UEFA, the game was only delayed by 1 day. Dortmund lost, and afterwards Tuchel leapt to the players' defence.
nach diesem Sprengstoffanschlag war im Grunde nur die Entscheidung, könnt ihr eigentlich noch spielen? Also wir wurden im Grunde, hatten das Gefühl, dass wir behandelt werden, als wäre eine Bierdose an unserem Bus geflogen.
Was this Tuchel's human side on show, or was he putting on an act? There were rumours that Tuchel was happy for the game to go ahead when it did. He also allegedly criticised his players, saying, "I'm supposed to beat Bayern with these wimps?" His relationship with the club bosses broke down. Even before these events, it seemed like his my way or the highway approach didn't fit. Dortmund CEO Aki Watzke emphasised that leading the club was about not just results, but also fundamental values like trust, respect, communication skills, authenticity, and identifying with each other. All things that made Jurgen Klopp a perfect fit. But Thomas Tuchel, not so much. So Watzke decided to let one of the best coaches in the world go. But he wasn't out of work for long.
Merci pour votre présence aujourd'hui. Je suis très heureux d'être ici comme entraîneur de ce club exceptionnel.
At Paris Saint-Germain, a different challenge altogether awaited Tuchel. How do you turn a collection of world-class players into a team? But Tuchel showed he was the right man to lead the superstars.
Desde a primeira conversa que tivemos ano passado, percebi o quão era vencedor, o quão ele queria estar cada vez melhorando, mostrando a sua melhor versão.
Tuchel had a successful stint in Paris, winning his first 14 games in a row for a league record. In his first 2 seasons, he won 2 league titles and the French Cup, and finished runners-up to Bayern in the Champions League. But losing that final went down badly in Paris, and after the team started the following season poorly, Tuchel's relationship with the media became more and more strained.
Vous montrez-moi une équipe qui joue chaque match 4 et 5 buts, c'est pas possible. Mais pour moi, c'est clair que vous trouvez toujours un point. On cherche le négatif. Il n'y a pas de problème. On a gagné. Et je ne vais pas faire une excuse.
The club's owners wanted more, and a falling out with sporting director Leonardo led to Tuchel's dismissal. His old employers didn't seem surprised, with Dortmund's Watzke saying, "Thomas is a difficult person. You can see that in Paris too, but he's a fantastic coach." The numbers back that up. At all of his clubs, Tuchel has been a success. At PSG, he won 3 of every 4 games. In his first half season at Chelsea, he won 2 points per game in the toughest league in the world. And his old sparring partner knew what to expect.
I saw already some routine, some fundamental, some process that I remember when I faced them in Borussia Dortmund.
Thomas Tuchel learned from the best until he became the best.
Will be tricky to place him, like it always was tricky, because he's a good one.
That Tuchel is good should be clear to every football fan by now. But his obsessive, demanding nature means he's never satisfied, even within minutes of victory.
I don't want to rest. I want the next one. I want the next success, and I want the next title, and I want the next process on the same level of quality, of consistency, and I want to be a part of it, and I demand to be a part of it.
Thomas Tuchel's personality has brought him success, but also tripped him up. The big question is, can he rein it in and become the coaching superstar?
Wow. Yeah, that's a good video. That's a good video. Lads, before we react and address, hit that like button. Let's get to 100 likes. We're on 83. Let's get to 100 likes. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate that. Bobby, welcome to the stream. How are you?
Yeah, I hope I can hang around for a bit. I've just had some really shocking news. So while I'm processing it, I will try and distract myself a bit with this. But if I feel
Everything
I
okay,
need to
Bobby?
leave, please excuse me.
Of course, but is everything okay, Bobby?
Well, yeah, it's just somebody very, very close to me has passed away. I might have to log out and log back in so I can change device right now,
Okay.
if I may.
Okay, do what you got to do, and may they rest in peace. May they rest in peace. Condolences, Bobby. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Hopefully everything is okay on your end, Bobby. If you are able to come on, it'd be good to have you. If not, we totally understand. Guys, regarding what we just saw, it's a testament to him as a manager, as a coach, to be held in such high esteem by two of the best coaches in the Premier League, both Klopp and Pep. So it is something that we need to look at and we need to understand. And again, the passion that he puts in, it's something that is being emphasized by everyone that knows him. The commitment that he has, the desire to win, to succeed. That is something very special, and I'm really pleased to have a manager like that managing my club. I want to get reaction from you guys. I mean, we all watched it together. What did you guys make of that video? And it's open to everyone. Anyone can jump in and let me know.
Well, first, go ahead, Bobby.
George, I was just going to say, I caught the tail end of it, and it was enough of the gist of the whole of it. Following on from yesterday, I think, people have always been looking for a manager that will stay at Chelsea, build a legacy, and create stability. Thomas Tuchel is that man. Both Chelsea and him are a fit for each other. He's had a journey that's been a little bit trigger happy, if I can say that. And Chelsea have been trigger happy with managers. But something about this guy tells me he's Roman's man. And I think that whatever happens with him, especially this season, we've got to stick by him, because this man is going to build something quite incredible at the club. But like anything, you need time to really put the bricks together. His immediate success has been incredible, but his sustained success needs patience.
Yeah, definitely. It's also for me watching that, there was one aspect that really I really enjoyed, and maybe it has something to do with things that happened in my past, but being called a dictator is not necessarily a bad thing. Being called a person that projects authority and projects strength, not necessarily a bad thing, especially when it comes to coaching a team, a sports team. That number one. Number two, his methodology, where he brings the pitch into a different format, where he cut out the corners, where he made it into a circular pitch, where he made it smaller, playing in smaller zones, smaller areas, to improve ball control, to improve passing within closed spaces. That is a very unique approach. I think it's something that I think he did when he came to Chelsea. He got them to play with smaller balls to try to get control. Wow.
Was it me?
I don't know where that came from.
Instagram. Sorry, man. Sorry.
That was Couch. Okay, I was moving my computer, then the song. I was like, okay.
Yeah. I thought it might have been you, but then it turns out to be Couch trying to demonetize the stream. I mean, I'm doing a good job of it myself, but Couch, you went the extra mile. No, it is what it is. So having that approach to coaching, having that mentality, thinking outside the box, as someone who I used to know would say, think outside the box. That's what he's doing. That's what he's doing, and I'm pleased. I'm pleased. I just hope he is given the time. He is given the time because, he does have that fiery personality. We don't really see it a lot in the press conferences, and from the side that we see. But I'm sure the guys at the club and at the board, and people back in Cobham see that, and they deal with that, and hopefully they can understand his passion, and rather than have that be a hindrance, that could be something that is looked at in a positive light.
Mhm.
That's my take.
I've seen the video before, and before I go any further, Bobby, I want to give you my condolences. Really sorry to hear you lost somebody so close to the holiday season. But my best wishes are with you and your family. But beyond that, like I do want to say that I've seen that video before, and yeah, it's not really giving me any real new insights of the guy, other than the fact that like he's kind of like toned down since he's come to Chelsea. He's not really. I haven't really seen a fiery Tuchel the way we saw at Dortmund or even at PSG after the fact.
I can tell you that's not the case.
The press conference. Do you
Okay,
remember?
well, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it.
No, not the press conference. No. I've seen some footage, some videos that are not mainstream videos that people have taken without his knowledge. Not what you see on the Chelsea YouTube channel and whatnot. No, him addressing the players. He is still as fiery as we saw in that clip. Okay, but they don't show us that part of it. We don't see, because they want to keep that calm and collective.
Well, I know he's
image,
intense.
but he does have.
I know he's intense, but I say that when I say fiery, he's a guy that is not as combative, right? Like he's a guy that you won't see like pick fights with people and stuff like that. Like he was called as one of them as a bully, Like I don't know if he still has that same sort of like quality in his personality. Again, we won't know just because we're not necessarily behind the scenes, but by all intents and purposes, it seems as though this guy has like earned the respect of the dressing room and isn't really rocking the boat in terms of what you get from the directors, right? Yeah, and he's actually said that he's learned a lot from those experiences as well, and he's kind of taking it into his new role with Chelsea. So he's the guy that I want to see get a little. I've been saying this every manager. I say this though. Only manager I did not want to see give him time was Benitez. He's the only guy that I was just like, why is this guy at the club? But every other manager I want to see, I just want to see something, some longevity in that position, See if we can build a squad in the image of these managers that we're paying millions upon millions of dollars to. He's the latest in a long succession, and I want to see it happen this time. Like I think this guy's got some really, really good ideas about football, how we see it. And it's something that if we allow him to, express himself fully, backing him fully, and give him the necessary resources to, execute his football philosophy correctly, I think that we might be seeing something special. The fact that he's come in on such a short amount of time and already changed the thinking of the supporters like almost instantaneously, where we thought, oh my God, are we even going to get top four? To oh my God, we're playing in the FA Cup final. Oh my God, we won the Champions League. Oh my God, we're the best team in Europe. Like these are the types of things that if we give him more time to actually work through his ideas, give him a preseason, give him a full squad, a depth of squad, we might see something more. And I'm just, I'm hoping that the board have the understanding and the patience and the wherewithal to give him the time to, really seed in and, really endear himself to the support group.
That's not even started playing.
Listen, I like the Tuchel I saw on their videos. I like the Tuchel that does not care, speak his mind. I like the Tuchel, the dictator. That's all I want to see. Because, listen, that's the type of supporter I am. If I feel like my coach is actually a dictator, I will be at peace when I'm sitting watching the game. Whatever happened, I think it's not going to be easy for those players on the field after that game. Like Jose Mourinho throw them under the box all the time. That's why I love Jose Mourinho. And Jose Mourinho throwing the board member under the box, I love him for that. So I like to see Tuchel. I just don't like the fact that he's learning too early from his previous experience from Paris Saint-Germain or even Dortmund. I like them to go after and to just be like faceless, that the way he is in those videos, like all those showing like trying to present everything is cool, with everything, and the decision to bring Saul in, I was part of it, and we were trying to get Saul into the team. The decision to bring Lukaku in is exactly the decision that was made together. Haaland, we're still looking at it, but everything is like he is part of the board, and every decision he is like 50%. He give his view. I just don't know. He needs to come out and just, whether he gets sacked the next 16 months or the next year, he will find a good job anyway because he's a really good coach. So I like him to just speak his mind and fight for. I mean, me, that's who I am, anyways. I just don't like I know things are not going well, and he come out all the time and pretend that the board are doing their job properly, and they all like on the same frequency, which I know is not the case. Because I just don't feel like it's the case for me, anyways. That's how I think.
Yeah. If I was to say something, I think I low-key agree with Boogeyman, because I feel Tuchel knows a few things off the point, but he just tries to make everything look good, to the fans. In fact, the whole Saul situation, and I feel even Tuchel tries to, make his own statements on the pitch. Because, for example, why is he still playing Saul? Personally, I feel he's playing Saul to just tell the board, look at the player you got me. Look at how shit he is. Look at how bad this player is. To some extent, I feel that's what Tuchel does. He plays the 5-back system as well. When they sold our back line, they sold a couple of players. And it's like, say, who would now fit in these positions if you sell all my players and you didn't get me the players I wanted? So it feels like it talks on the pitch to the board, but I don't really understand. But after watching that video, all I could just say is get him every player he wants. Get him all the necessary tools. Just get him. Let him stay there. Let him, develop. Put his old man. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, and that's what I've been saying for the past 7-8 months, because we had Conte, which I absolutely adored as a player and as a manager, and we failed him. And the fan base, and this is going back to the main topic of the stream, the fan base, they turned on Conte at the end after having a horrendous transfer window. And what worries me is if we don't win the league this year, or now we're having a very a tough spell, fans are starting to have concerns. They're overreacting. There is some fans who are starting to say Tuchel doesn't know what he's doing. He needs to go. This is history repeating itself, unfortunately. And the reason I wanted, and thank you, Mo, for actually making us all watch it here, and all the people who are on the stream to watch it, is to realize we have a very special manager on board, and we need to protect him. We need to back him up. We need to stop making excuses to the decisions made by the board, whether it's good or bad. It doesn't matter. Our purpose here as fans for the football club is to push against these corporates to make the good decisions that are related to football. It's their job to figure out what is the best way possible between making money and having a good team to compete and win titles, and having the stability and sustainability in the long term. And we have our duties to also focus on the right problems, not to make justifications and excuses. What I want us to do is to always side with the manager. Back the manager. Stop saying a deal is complicated, or we don't have the money to do this, or we don't have the money to... the manager wants specific things. Let us support that, and it's the board's job to figure out what is the best way to do so, because they have the education, they have the knowledge, they have the experience and the resources. What football clubs, and that's not only a Chelsea issue, that is a Man U issue, that is an Arsenal issue, that is even Liverpool, by the way. These football clubs are slowly starting to turn into corporate businesses more than football clubs. And a Super League, which we joined back then, even though we pulled out because of the fans, was a big proof of it. And this is why we need to be careful with the things we say and with the stances we take, and always side with the players and with the manager. That's my opinion.
Yeah, what was I gonna say about this Tuchel thing? For me, I believe with age, everybody you grow and you learn. Okay, I don't believe that he's changed. He's just matured. Football club is a family, or is a married. What happened in your marriage or in your family? You don't come and throw it outside, Boogie. Nobody does that. You don't go and throw it, tell everything that happened in your family outside to the public.
So you
Okay,
Hold on.
Marriage,
I listen. Since we're talking about dirty laundry, yeah, I want to say something. You kinda alluded that Boogie did something that the village elders would not like, but then you turned around and you did the same thing. So, the village,
I know, I know. If the village elders catch me too, I'll be in trouble. You know, like Boogie, I don't think Tuchel has changed. He's the same guy. But the thing is, now he's learned to control it. There are battle you can win, there are battle you can't. So you gotta pick. There are people that you need in a corporation to be on your side, and to be football being business. That's late. 1992, when they formed the Premier League, that's when the football become a commercial entity. It's no more. It's a corporation. The money part is the corporate side. If you check Chris Buck, Bruce Buck, our chairman, is a financial lawyer, okay, from investment background. So any club you go to, that's what it is. It's a corporation now. It's too late for that. But the thing is, yes, we have to back the manager, but I believe Tuchel hasn't changed. What he's done is matured and treat the club as a family. No need to go and address your dirty laundry outside like Conte did and whatever. Look at Conte. The problem now is at Tottenham is because of that attitude. This family, whether you like it or not, is a corporation, which is a family. The players are family to you. You their father, you their uncle. So they listen to you. Okay, the corporate side, you have to play it as well, whether you like it or not. That's the way things are. Alex Ferguson was the same way. He was a dictator in the dressing room, but outside, he defend the club, back the club, and whatever. And also, when people keep saying that Saul might not be signing, Lukaku might not be signing, I don't believe that. Managers have choose players and they come into the team. It didn't work. I remember when Pep Guardiola got rid of Samuel Eto'o and bring in Zlatan Ibrahimovic, one of the best striker in the world then. It didn't fit his system. He got rid of him. Sometimes it happened. And even at City, he has done it as well. Sometimes a manager can have an idea about a player to say, yeah, you know what? Get them for me. I can put them in this system, it will work. But when the player get there, he didn't fit. It just didn't work. So, but sometimes when people are adamant and they don't have any proof to say, no, it's not this manager signing, we got to be careful. Sometimes a manager can say, oh, you know what? This can work. And boy, they get there, it cannot work. It doesn't mean that the manager, anything went wrong. It means that it just didn't work. That's football. If you sign 10 players, 3 will make it. The 7 will fail.
Sometimes it doesn't work out, man.
So it just doesn't work out. But people sitting here, oh, no,
that's why I said to my ex-girlfriend, man.
Sometimes it just doesn't work out. You know, it's not meant to be. It's not fate. But at the same time, when you go on them dating websites and you try to find a girl, you know, you do your research, you do a bit of scouting, you do a bit of, you try to find the right girl, innit?
Saul is Boogie's fault.
Yeah, but you see, that's the thing. 2 years. I mean, if they said they could have said, you know, we didn't do enough research. No, we scouted him for 2 years. And that's what we get. That's what pains me.
Exactly.
They just say that so the fan can just rest a little, give Saul some time to come. They were expecting that Saul will come around at one point. They just want us to they want to easy us to accept the decision, but then Saul will never come in. It's never possible.
Yes, was the worst for Saul even. So if they were scouting him for the past 2 years, then they should know he's not even fit to be a rotation player at Chelsea.
I think it was the field, the grass in the UK. I know.
But yeah, he said he had a medical issue actually. So sometimes I always cut him a slack. He said he had this
forget about that guy, man.
Kidney rupture thingy and coming back to to fitness and everything. But I think they should have put all this into consideration that this could be a factor for him to not even perform well in the EPL, which is even much more physical and even with enough tenacity than the La Liga. So it's just poor scouting, really poor scouting.
And
lads, I want to address a couple of points about the game tomorrow. We're going to have the game on Sunday. We are going to have a match preview tomorrow night. So tomorrow night is going to be our match preview.
What time on Sunday is that game again?
Sorry?
What time on Sunday is that game? I think
I believe it's at 2. Or is it 3? Hold on, I'll check.
Is that 3?
It's at 2. It is at 2. It's at 2 p.m. kickoff. Okay, so we will have a match preview for that game tomorrow. But I want to just talk about a couple of things that we heard today in regards to our midfield, because we now know that Jorginho can't take the pain no more. Jorginho can't. I mean, he's been playing in pain and he can't take it no more. Ruben Loftus-Cheek is injured. Okay, so, and what did Tuchel say today? He said, I might have to play Kante and Kovačić, even though he just came back from injury and he's been, isolating for 10 days, no training, and I might have to put him on that pitch. Do you know how embarrassing that must be for Saul Niguez? The fact that I'm going to play a person who's been isolated, who's not trained for 10 days, who's coming back from an injury, instead of putting you on that pitch.
Yeah, but I think it's more a blessing for him. He heard that, he's like, oh, thank God, I don't have to play tomorrow.
I don't have to play. I don't have to embarrass myself.
Like, I'm not even joking. Like, that's how I think you feel.
Yeah, true.
It's just, the thing is, sometimes you just feel like your mind, that's what I'm trying to say. Saul should go back to our... What's that? Saul should go back to our reserve team, perform there, build his confidence, dribble those kids, shut down those kids, push those kids around, scare them off, do whatever he wants to do in the reserve team, and then come back to us, the first team. Then slowly introduce back to the team.
And imagine if those kids start schooling him. Imagine if those kids school him.
Yeah, but then he goes down. You 18. Keep going until he passes his level. Come on, man.
You know what? How do you think he? I forget. I was gonna say, how do you think he feels receiving that paycheck, knowing what kind of position he's put us in? But no, I'm never gonna address that. Forget that. Let's move on. The problem I have here is this: if Kovačić and Kante play in that game, we could risk serious injury, and that is my problem. Yeah,
but what does that say about the trust you have in Saul Niguez? If you're already before the match,
exactly,
you're naming like Kante and Kovačić, who haven't played in weeks, into their side. Like it just speaks volumes to me, And every time he gets an opportunity, it's a worse performance than the last one. Like I don't like what possibly can Tuchel do at this point in time? Like we can't drop any more points. Like we started this stream talking about we're still in this title race, and I do believe that we are, but we got to start really getting 3 points now and start like finding our football again. Like that, there's no room for error anymore, right? And playing Saul Niguez to me right now, that is opening up.
We play 10 men.
Up that window of error.
Even Saul himself will destroy him completely. Because
MDT question for you. I know we can't get Gilmour or Gallagher back, what's the situation with Ampadu?
I think we can.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, Chelsea can get any loan player back they want. They just have to pay a fee. Are we willing to pay the penalty?
They've actually surpassed a certain threshold of appearances, which doesn't allow Chelsea to have the option for Gallagher and for. Go on.
Yeah, you can't call them back without a penalty. If they didn't play that amount of game, you can recall them. Okay, Chelsea will still keep the money, but because of they've met that threshold, it's up to the board. If they want, they can recall those players back and pay back the loan fees. But Gilmour's loan fee is what paid for Saul's loan fee. So this is the thing. We can call anybody back, but we just have to pay the money back. So this is the problem. There will be penalties or whatever. So it's up to Chelsea board. What do they think? For me, I will send Saul back and get the Atletico the Brazilian guy, the left wing back, the left back they have.
Why would Atletico
He's
do that?
23. Boogie, you the scout. Can you help us?
Why would Atletico do that?
That's what I'm hoping. I'm just hoping, Boogie. I'm just hoping if Chelsea can start something. If they can take Saul back, or even Chelsea return Saul and pay the 5 million and get Lodi. Lodi will compete with Chilwell, even when he's fit. So just do that.
But I just think that the fact that we do not have our youth, or what I mean by youth, not the one on loans, the one that actually at the academy playing, but the fact that we don't have them around the team and at least inject them during those difficult times is something I just do not understand. And I think
the bubble thing. That's
to
why.
be held responsible for that. He has to. Like, this is England. December fixtures are one of the most complicated ones. Liverpool are doing it. Manchester City are doing it. I don't mind the fact that the club need money because of the stadium capacity. They have to loan the best youth and all those things. I don't even care about it. But at this point, imagine, like, Kante just came from injury. And Kovacic, I'm not sure when you have COVID.
So, Boogie, can I just add this to your point? Did you watch yesterday's game? Chalobah, the physio was working on Chalobah's thigh before he was coming in. Did you saw it? He was massaging it.
No, I didn't pay
the
attention.
guy wasn't supposed to. He wasn't meant to play. It was a gamble, and I was like, "Oh my God, he's gonna pull it back." He was working on it the whole 10 minutes before he come on. They were massaging it, oiling it. It's like they were heating it up for him to come on. That's unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, Tuchel, why don't you try Christensen then? Because if this guy got injured, it's a problem. And tomorrow we might play Kova and and Kante. They're not ready. Let's be honest.
Sunday.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a situation we're in, though, right?
Let me just welcome Alex. Alex, welcome to the stream. How are you, my man? You're
muted.
No, he's not muted. It's from his cable. I think he's got a button he's got to press because he's on. Try again.
Yo, that's what happened with buying stuff from China, man.
Yeah, we can't hear you, Alex. We can't hear you. Try again. All right. Yeah, bounce back in. All right, nice. Declared, welcome to the stream. How are you?
Don't be hating on Taiwan, man.
Good morning.
Good shit.
Good evening.
There we go. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Welcome, Alex.
Go
welcome,
ahead,
Declared.
Bobby. Go ahead. Since I lost my
Welcome,
spot.
Alex.
How you doing, my man?
All right, boys. Welcome to the stream. We're just having a friendly chat, a friendly discussion about how to move forward with the current injury crisis that we have. Listen, if we this thing about games being postponed, and Tuchel was talking about if it gets postponed, it gets postponed. For me, as a coach, as a manager, I'm going to prepare my team, and we're gonna do our best regardless of the situation. If we wake up tomorrow and we have 3 or 4 more cases, and it is what it is, we move on. All right, fair enough. I respect that. But that being said, when does games actually get postponed for things of that nature? Because I did a little bit of reading, and to be fair, there isn't a lot when it comes to the pandemic type of scenario. I mean, the referee can postpone a match for weather conditions, adverse weather conditions, or if there is a danger for a health and safety issue for the players or for the fans for whatever reason. The referee can postpone a game, or the governing body can decide to postpone a fixture for weather or health and safety issues. But there is nothing in regards to how many players have to be unavailable. Under what circumstances do they do that? I mean, the games that have been postponed, were they done based on a specific benchmark, a specific criteria? Because I don't know, and I'd like to know if anyone here has an insight into that, please enlighten us.
I was told today, I actually asked this question. I was told today that FA was the one that decides. Because
based on what? Based on what?
I have no idea, because there was how you say it, 2 different kind of informations. For example, one club had 9 players tested positive, and they were saying you go ahead with the game until 1 hour before the game. So
okay,
I don't. That's the closest one I looked, but I'm trying to order myself antibiotics because it sounds like I have upper respiratory problems.
What?
Yeah,
Wow.
well, I'm definitely not COVID. I've already been vaccinated 3 times, but
isn't that the complaint? Oh, sorry.
Say again, declared?
Isn't the complaint from some of the coaches that it's inconsistent?
yeah, I think
The
that's
Brentford
the problem.
coach
Yeah.
and Brendan Rodgers. Is that like they'll claim that the bigger teams can get the preferential treatment because they got lesser players get postponed. Some other teams got more players out and not get postponed, and there's an inconsistency, and that's the biggest complaint at the moment.
Yeah.
Came out from,
I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, 5, was it 4? Because we had 4 players who tested positive the morning of a game. We had 1 player who wasn't feeling well. He returned a negative result, and that was Havertz. So Havertz wasn't feeling well. They tested him. He returned a negative result, but they weren't too confident on that. So we were missing 5 players because of illness. And we found out the morning of the game, and it wasn't postponed. And, where do you draw the line? Where do you draw the line? And I don't understand that. I mean, I watched, by the way, Jorge's review of the game, and it was a very good review. And you made a very good point. You made a very good point in that review, and you said we were only missing 1 player from our attack because we did have Ziyech, we did have Mount. We just didn't have a striker, which is Havertz, Timo Werner, or Lukaku. And they weren't able to play. So we were really missing 1. And I agree with you, but we were also missing the rest in the depth of the team. So that, players that we could bring on in due course. So that was a good point. And guys, make sure you check out Jorge's channel. Boogeyman, can you answer the super chat for me, please? I have no idea, Boogie.
Yo, what are you talking about, Gabriel A? I ask a question like that, you should send me the £5, man, not to the Brew Lounge.
Hey, listen. All right, guys, I advise you to put all kinds of funny stickers on the background so we get more super chats.
Below a symbol.
By the way, my man, on top of it, I don't
understand it.
I just start following you. I looked it up on the
Jorge's.
Twitter. I had a new follower. I was gonna ask you if at the time to see why you have Ukrainian flag on your. Why you have Ukrainian flag on your?
I'm in Ukraine.
Oh, you're right in Ukraine now. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you go to med school over there?
Yeah, exactly.
That's I put these 2 things together. A lot of people from Africa goes to the former Soviet Union countries for medical degrees.
Yeah,
and two and two together.
I'm not gonna be political, but as you can see, he said former Soviet Union countries because he's Russian, and he's right on your border right now. Yeah, so be careful.
No,
he's on your border.
No, my mom actually from Ukraine. My mom is from Ukraine. My dad is Romanian.
What part of Ukraine?
Oh, okay, sweet.
She's from Nikolaev.
Nikolaev. Yeah, I've been there. Very close.
Sweet.
Yeah, as Canadian, I'm gonna say it's called Ukraine. So
do what?
I'm saying as a Canadian, I'm gonna say it's called Ukraine.
Yeah.
It's all what?
Ukraine.
You need to specify what you mean by a symbol of femininity.
Gabriel, please. I mean, Gabriel, you've sent me. Listen, I gotta be fair to Gabriel because this is his third super chat. So you've sent me 3 super chats. The first one, something about your missus and Aston Villa, and I had no idea what that was all about. The second one was about Tuchel, dictator, etc. We addressed it, so thank you for that super chat. And this one, I haven't got a clue what it's all about. So thank you for the super chats, but explanation, please. Explanation.
Maybe those pictures behind me.
No. I think it's referring to the village elders because you can tell.
I was listening on TV earlier with the village. I thought I was talking about village idiot, but it was different.
Hold on. Let me just do something here. How do I click on this? We go here.
I'm glad you got it, coach.
Just that much of it.
I'm trying to see. There's nothing. I
think it's about something. No, femininity is.
Those pictures behind me. From the kindergarten. My daughter's.
Yeah. How old is your daughter? Boogeyman?
Why would I tell you something like that, man? That's a joke. She is 2, and the other one is 4.
Because.
Why?
No, it's a nice drawing. It's a nice
Alex, don't worry.
I'm not.
Alex, don't worry. Boogeyman was in the same academy as Roger Miller in Nantes.
I have pretty young ones. 4 and 3 months, and this one is 1 and 8 months, so close to 2.
But you have 4 kids?
Boogeyman, African age or Canadian age?
2. The oldest one is 4 and 3 months, and the youngest one is 1 and 8 months. So close to 2.
Yeah. God bless.
Yeah, man.
And on that note, I'm gonna go pick up my one and only. So I will see you guys later. Let's get that win on Sunday, guys. Positivity is the way to do it. Collective energy, collective spirit, collective wealth.
Couch, I'll be really interested in watching your lineup for tomorrow's game. So we'll do the preview.
No doubt.
It's basically gonna be a bunch of players and just do like this and just throw it on.
You can guarantee you'll be solving the games at false 9, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
The other thing is Barkley. Come on, man. What is he doing?
I don't know.
He's your boy. What are you talking about? Barkley is your boy, man.
I know. I'm not here.
Okay.
Those step overs.
Just take it. Take it both hands.
This one, I'm gonna say, it's not only Boogie. Even me, I'm a Barkley fan as well. So Boogie, you're right. Here, Barkley let us down. He let us down big time. I'm very disappointed. Very disappointed.
Take your chance with
this is what Barkley does. He just puts the hope in people and just steps on it.
No doubt.
Just gives you a little bit of hope and just crushes it.
Yesterday
he should have been good in that position tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like, go through those passes. For me, yesterday's game was again about 2 halves. The first one, we did not put it away. The second one, it was too slow in the build-up. And I think teams start to figuring us out and just start bypassing midfield, like bypassing through Jorginho and Robin Loftus-Cheek, like we were not even there. It was so funny how
Back need to
Jorginho
do better.
tried to look like he was running back. It's not even funny, man. The guy.
Oh God.
It was
Alex,
so bad.
Alex, can I ask you this?
Yeah.
Yesterday, I know the reason why, but do you think the substitution was it necessary? Did it make us worse, or
I
did it
was
make any
saying
difference?
the only reason yesterday, like I said somebody on the stream today. I had so many streams today. I said I have problems with Tuchel substitution. Sometimes he does too late, sometimes he does too early, and yesterday I didn't really think we needed one. I was like, keep the same people, please. We are actually, but the funny part is, like, if people remember yesterday's first half, I threw passes that we were talked about on the stream before, like making attempts, for our players up top on the front, was those through balls, between midfield, like on the ground, not go over the top, but on the ground, And the two best players that did that were Rudiger and Thiago Silva. They are the one that creating passes through the middle, again bypassing our midfield. And I was like, how is that possible? Our center backs are making those passes and not Jorginho and Robin Loftus-Cheek?
The first chances
to James was it was Jorginho. He should have finished. I agree.
Yeah, and the other thing you said, and I tend to listen. I'll just be straight honest with you. Any attack, any critics on Jorginho, Kovačić does not go past me. Anybody that say anything like that, my answer is no. You know nothing about football. Yesterday, if you say
I'm hanging my clothes because you convinced me.
No, I'm just telling you that's my default reaction. Anybody criticizing Jorginho, and
I have my own gag reflex when you talk. So
my point is this: Jorginho, that game yesterday was not slowed down in the middle. I don't think so.
I'm not talking about the first half. He was doing wonderful first half. I was okay with Jorginho. Even Robin Loftus-Cheek in the first half. I did not have problem with any player but the front three.
Even the first
actually the only two players.
Yeah, it was
only two players that I have problem with it was Pulisic and what's his name? At Mount, not finishing up those chances, because Ziyech was really, really good yesterday. For me, he was really good.
Alex, did you not see that Ruben was injured, and for a great part of the second half he was playing injured until he was.
I saw that, but I didn't think it was that he was injured. Like he needed to go off, because at the end of the day, it was his decision.
He must have needed to go off. He's not playing.
Yeah,
he's been injured for a while. He's been carrying.
Yeah, to carry Jorginho on his shoulders for past 4 games, it's a hard job.
Jorginho was carrying him as well. They're both carrying each other with injuries.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, there is the theory. I'm just gonna throw it out there. There is the theory for Boogeyman. Let me show you the theory. There's somebody said today. Do you know why all the players around Jorginho are injured?
Why? Why?
And Jorginho doesn't go injured.
because somebody working twice as much and defending and put their body on the line for this guy to be.
But that's the irony, actually. That's the irony. That's the irony.
It's a joke, but at the same time, if you think about it, Kovačić first, Kante second, then it went Robin Loftus-Cheek at some point.
Even
Chalobah. All the people around Jorginho got hurt.
Yeah, they have to find why. But I just think the fact that when we don't put Jorginho in the team, we just play a little differently most of the time. We don't
see you like one kind of style of the game, so you look at through the eyes of the person that likes specific style. So do I. I like different kinds of style of the game. You know what I'm saying? So I will look for that kind of like a vision. For me,
can I ask the panel this question?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you guys think we need to bring in Harvey Vale and Louis Baker permanently into the first team in January for them to be part of the squad? Do you guys think we should?
Yes.
Yes. Absolutely.
I even think we should do more than that. That's
because
But if we can't bring anyone back, yes.
Yeah, we can't call anyone back, so it's
If they on loan, it depends how many starts they had for the other team, if they're available.
My point is this: we kept talking about the two main one, the one at Palace and the other one at
Norwich.
Yeah, Billy Gilmore. What about Sterling? What about all those? What are the contract? I just want. What's the detail on those loans?
That's what I mean, Boogie. I'm telling you, it's money. If we call them, we just have to pay the money. That's all. We have Ampadu, we have them, but it's the money. So it's up to the club to see what they think is more.
No. Tuchel said it about the Gilmore and the Gallagher. There's specific rules. If you play a certain amount of games for the other club, you're not allowed to play for our Premier League.
But I know they don't have that condition on Sterling. Because I don't think they.
It's not a condition. It's the rule. It's FA rule.
Yeah, but listen, if we want them, we take them back, we pay the fees, and that's it, and the fine, whatever you call it, and then that's it. Because the problem I think we have at this point
I
is
think you don't
this
understand
is the best chance for those two to actually.
He'll be ineligible to play.
In regards to what Alex is saying, if they played a certain amount of games, and this is what Tuchel said, they played a certain amount of games, which makes it
eligible for the other team.
Yeah, you see, you can actually bring them back because I spoke to MDT, and you can bring them back, but you have to pay a fine. If they didn't stick by the minimum requirement of them playing X amount of games, then we could recall them without paying a fine. But because they did play those amount of games, we can still recall them, but we have to pay a fine. And it can be done in January because that is where the rosters are updated. Yeah. But again, Tuchel ruled it out, Boogeyman. Tuchel ruled it out for both Gallagher and for Gilmore. For the others, he didn't say nothing. So
exactly. So let's bring them back. What I'm going with that idea is this: we thinking about using Aspi as a backup for Alonso's position at one point. I mean, at least on this panel, we some preview people give that position to. Why don't we bring Sterling there so he can adapt and just trying to? I mean,
Raheem Sterling.
What's up?
Raheem Sterling.
No, we have another Sterling.
Dijon.
Sterling. Why don't we bring back? Because he's fast, physical, tall. I think he's the one 6 point something also. So why don't we just bring him back and try it on that position? And the worst case scenario, bring him back and use it as a backup for Rudiger. He's tall, he's fast, he can control, he can do all those. Why not?
I think it was
for Rudiger.
What's up?
You'd be better off back up for Rudiger. I'm not sure he could do the left wing back. He can certainly do the right wing back.
There's the other guy that the championship that actually Chelsea Football Club thinking of bringing him back in January. The kid that
Matson.
Yes,
Matson.
That's the club. When here's the thing: when soon as what's his name is gonna be reevaluated his knee ligament. That's when Chelsea is gonna reevaluate that loan with the guy, because that's what I understood. Because they're not gonna go into the market, and and the other one is the Everton left back, which is the French player. What's his name?
We loan Arnold, now we pay money for transfer again.
Yeah, 20 million.
Look at Digne.
Look at Digne is 20 million they're asking for him. So I think it's actually good price and good cover for what's his name?
Another Deadwood.
Chilwell. What about Kennedy?
Kennedy is a buyback clause. So I looked it up, and the buyback clause is we cannot actually. They need to say no. We cannot say, can we have it back? They the ones that needs to decide. It's the same situation with Saul.
Kennedy is sold or he's on loan?
No. Kennedy is on loan with
option to buy.
Okay.
But we can still call him as a loan with option.
He's technically their player. It's the same situation with Saul. If, for example, if Atletico Madrid want to call Saul, we the ones to have to say, yes, you can have him. Not the Atletico demand and bring him back. I was actually talking to the sports lawyer on a thing about Chiesa's situation, because Chiesa on loan. Chiesa is not Juventus player.
I know.
Chiesa
is on loan with
option to buy. So
yeah, I know.
That's the same situation. He said,
yeah,
no.
but Chiesa is different. It's not option to buy. It's an obligatory to buy with a penalty.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah, I just think
40 million euros.
Because they think of Kennedy. I didn't hear it on this panel first. I heard it on I think it was ESPN or Sky Sport, because it was no. It was on that yellow logo thing on YouTube all the time. I can find it fast.
You hear it here from me. I was the one that brought it up, Kennedy, and y'all all forgot about it.
No. Now you, man. If it was you, I disagree with you before you finish your sentence. It wasn't you.
Is that declared? He's declared there.
Yeah, he's here.
Tell him, Bobby, how you doing?
How you doing, man? We haven't heard anything from you.
I was waiting for everyone to talk. I mean, the loan deals are quite interesting.
Man, here you're gonna wait forever.
Declare just woke up, man. He's having his coffee.
Yeah, I'm still trying to wake up.
I have nothing to. The man doesn't want to talk. That's why I keep talking, man.
Yeah, go for it.
Well, why aren't we dipping the market?
Trying to show you some love.
Thanks. Because I'm very familiar with what Chilwell's injury is, and even if he comes back, he's not going to be 100%, right? I can guarantee that.
Yeah, there is a mental part of it. Yeah, you're right. Mental part.
Yeah, no, but he'll be playing restrictive as well, and he'll be rested. Yeah, and there is a mental part. There's a big mental part to get back.
Big mental part.
So I feel that, I mean, the loan deals sounds risky and messy, and maybe affect the future of the player, because a loan could lead to a transfer maybe for them, game time, but I think we should just dip into the market. That's how important that role is. And maybe, Alonso's future's maybe in doubt too, so it could be a permanent thing, or should be a permanent thing. So I say we dip in the market.
I'm gonna say something, Declan, very controversial. For me, personally, I would rather, to be honest with you, right now, is either we buy a proper left wing back that will compete with Chilwell, or for me, the Kennedy have seen when his team is playing Brazil, when you watch it on ESPN, that guy is very, very good. I don't understand whether we have to pay the 5 million, whatever, cancel the loan. For me personally, I will cancel the agreement and pay all the fees or whatever, even if they take us whatever, and bring him back, because he will do that. He's the type of player we need right now. When it comes to all this, whatever, if you want a player that will do the job like Chilwell, we will not miss anything. It's Kennedy for me, and we have him. Although we'll pay penalty, it will cost us money. Just but anyway, I don't want to, because when it comes to finance, I don't want to.
There's
I don't want to feel like
no joke on this talk. We need to push that agenda. Kennedy has to come back, and Kennedy with Tuchel, I just think that will be like the match in heaven. Though Kennedy is really technical. He used to play as a winger. He can defend. He can play through the midfield. And I think in Brazil, in his youth, he used to play as a striker. So he has everything to really succeed in the Tuchel freedom system, where just press. And he's really good at pressing. Also, when he was playing in Spain last season or 2 seasons ago, that's all he kept doing, pressing, and come back to his position. It was at Talksport. I was looking for Talksport. I keep watching on YouTube. When I think after Chilwell injury, people are talking about who can be the potential replacement. That's when someone talk about someone calling and making. Now we need to bring Kennedy, because that position is like made up for Kennedy.
Hey, Boogeyman, do you think he wants to come back?
Yeah,
because he didn't get picked in preseason. Maybe he doesn't see his future at Chelsea. He had all these chances to be part of the team, never got picked. And to come back to maybe know that there's no future after 6 months.
100%. But can you listen to this one?
Declare the spot on. Listen. Declare the spot on. Kennedy has never been shown favour at Chelsea. He's one of the first players that we push out on loan at the start of every season. And the fact that we need him now, and we request him to come back, I don't think he'll be keen to come back. I wouldn't be if I was in his position.
It depends on the offer. More. I don't.
Yeah, but it's not just about the money. It's about money and the promise to get game time because
exactly. That's what I was going. It's not the promise. Like if Tuchel take a phone, call him, and say, "Yo, listen, this guy is out, and I promise you this season we only have 60 games from now to the end. You play half. You're starting 20 of them. I guarantee you that. And every time you'll be the second in line. And I want you to fight to make that position yours." He will run back here. Like it's just a matter of I will come back and play. Those Brazilians.
But Conte, Boogeyman, you're right. Conte did it to Victor Moses. You remember? Victor Moses was disillusioned. He went out of Chelsea. Yeah. Conte sat him down and gave him a lifeline, and he won the title and things like that. That was the best decision he made. So Tuchel or the board, they have to figure something out.
How many managers has Kennedy gone through? No one's giving him a lifeline, and to give him a lifeline,
the same with Victor Moses. Remember? How many managers?
Moses got it at the start. Kennedy didn't get it at the start.
No
season.
Moses used to be the best player in the preseason, the best winger. He scored goals when at the end of the preseason, he always been put on loan or somewhere. Yeah. And I always said he's not a Chelsea type. Like he is just good, but he doesn't bring that much of the swag, the attention. So I just think like he's just he has to go. But then Conte came and like, "Yo, this guy match what I want to have on this side," and he just started using it. And he became something really huge for us. And I think all it takes is to pick up your phone, call the man, talk to him, give him enough guarantee. He's young, talented. He will come back. Yeah. I just think so.
Yeah,
and
but we need him. But what are we going to do with Alonso then?
Forget Alonso, man.
Yeah, but it will be in the squad. It will be in the squad, and he would also try to fight for at least rotation or something. And
can I ask you something?
Yeah,
this is Chelsea, right?
Yeah,
they have high expectation. We get frustrated. Sometimes we cannot handle it. We even said Tuchel out. You think Alonso will be my problem?
You said Tuchel out before.
Yo, Redneck. Mokazi, can you mute Redneck for a few minutes?
Listen. Boogie, for you, I'll do this. Look. There he is. And I'll do this. He's back. I'll do this.
No, seriously though. I think with the Chelsea team, like Tuchel was making a mistake. Man management, that's good, but Saul, he's not good enough. Don't bring it in when we're not winning 4-0. Or like if Saul was on the bench during Norwich game, I wouldn't mind Saul coming when we're 4-0. I'll be happy. He's relaxed. He just do whatever he wants to do, whatever it is. But when we're winning 1-0, Saul has no business.
Never.
Even to go and sit completely upstairs not even close to the gym. Like I don't know why to go yesterday.
But don't you guys think those subs were precaution for the injury crisis that we got for the positions?
Yeah,
that
especially
we
played 2 games in 2 days.
Yeah, they weren't even meant for. Yeah, that's all they were meant for. Just to rest those players, make sure nothing happened to those players in a game that we were dominating so much.
Yeah,
that's how I saw him.
To be fair to Alonso, he didn't really do that badly yesterday.
Yeah,
he was really good actually in the first half.
Yeah, it was to protect Alonso, not that he was doing it badly.
Protecting Alonso, man. We needed
because we've got so many games. If something happens to Alonso or something else happens to our midfield, right? It makes that injury crisis even worse.
Yep, I see that.
Right, Declare.
Can I just say this, please? Guys, stop looking at total perfection in Tuchel. Crikey, this man just got here, really. Give him time. The guy can hardly trip over a pebble on the road without being criticized for not putting his foot right. Look at Klopp. Look at Pep. Look at any manager of any successful team. They have bad spells. They make bad decisions. They have bad buys. They make bad substitutions at one time or the other. Tuchel is not going to be 100% all the time. Mm-hmm. It is a flaming miracle that he hasn't been defeated in. Oh, he has. Okay, West Ham, take that out. But I don't even look at that as a defeat. That was such a lucky blip on West Ham's part. Give this man time. If we are attacking him at this time, what are we going to do? Okay, what if he doesn't win anything this season? What are you going to do? Because you're gonna encourage the board to kick him out. Come on, I mean, give the guy a break.
I know. Boogeyman is the first one that's gonna start with the protest.
Yeah.
No. Listen, I accept it. No, listen, I'm not going to lie about it. I'm emotional sometimes, and
tell me about it. It's not a secret.
Sometimes. Boogie, sometimes. Are you sure?
Mo, can you mute MDT, please?
Listen. For MDT, I will do this. Wait. For MDT, I will do this.
Yes, now you're on the bottom with me. Now you're on the bottom with me.
It's not the fact that
Boogie.
I came up as a Chelsea fan on Roman being ruthless and season after season, and just been a privilege pretty much as a Chelsea fan, and I pretty much make fun of all the other teams, and I'm happy, and I don't want to lose that status. So
Kasim, are you playing chess without pictures?
Yeah, no. I like symmetry. I like symmetry.
You know, Roman listens.
Yesterday,
he hesitated on getting rid of Mourinho in that second season when he lost the dressing room, because he could see how much the fans really wanted to keep him. It was only when it just became an untenable situation that he had to pull the trigger. I don't think Roman has taken much pleasure getting rid of people. Even Sarri left because he didn't want to go through the transfer embargo, the coward. And he saw an opportunity to go back and manage Juventus, which was something he always wanted to do.
Time out. Julius, you there?
Yes, because I'm getting...
Did I tell you what Bobby just said? Literally half an hour before we went live. About sorry.
Yes.
Sorry. Literally half an hour before we went live, Bobby. We were talking about Conte, Sarri, Lampard, and Tuchel, and where we are today with Tuchel. All right, and that is that. You know what, the way that we are going through managers, it shows no planning, no future planning, no long-term planning. Because where we are with Tuchel, and again I apologize for cutting you off here, but where we are with Tuchel is a position that we are blessed to have him, considering the road that it took us to get to Tuchel.
Yeah.
Right, because listen, the situation with Lampard was a disaster, and the reason why we were in that situation is because Sarri walked out on us.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people love Sarri. I know a lot of people love him. All right, but he walked out on Chelsea. Chelsea didn't sack him.
He did.
He turned around and said, bye.
He said that from his own mouth, didn't he? That was one of his regrets. Yeah.
Yes.
To a certain extent.
Then he said he wished he didn't.
Yeah.
To a certain extent,
hindsight is...
Conte provoked the board to sack him. Yeah. So, let's give what I really want to see with the Chelsea fan base is to get behind Tuchel the way they got behind Mourinho that time. And I can assure you, Tuchel will not be fired, even if he wins nothing this season. If the fan base is behind him, Roman won't pull the trigger.
I agree.
Bet on it.
Bobby, he's already won something though. He's already won a trophy this season.
Yeah,
we won a Super Cup this season.
Two trophies.
Yeah, Bobby, can I tell you this? One thing that will go against Tuchel, even though we want him to stay.
What?
Whenever Tuchel make a mistake, there are certain people they were not happy with the previous manager losing their job. They're not many. They may be minuscule, 10% or 5%. They don't want Tuchel to succeed because they feel like
Lampard
the previous manager wasn't giving Thank you very much. He
Yeah,
was
then
wrong.
we drown them out.
It's the same people.
Thank
It's
you.
the same.
they're in
It's the
big
same people
positions.
that owns the Pitch Owners Association.
Oh, we are talking
Most
on that
of
level.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
forget them.
no, I'm part of it. I'm not. Yeah, come on. Even you can be part of the ownership. Doesn't mean that you support them.
No.
Okay, come on.
Yeah, I know that because it was like when the vote happened, it was like
Yeah.
almost 50-50 split. It was really close
Yeah.
vote actually.
So Bobby, that's the problem we have in the fan base. So when you see Tuchel out, Boogie and some people think it's emotion. But if you check the underlying thing behind it, just check those accounts and go back and see. They were the people that were say the previous manager. Even if you relegate Chelsea, they don't care because of his proper Chelsea.
You're gonna make me say something that I really didn't want to say.
No need to say that.
I'll go back. I don't know. Is Max? Look, there was a time back in the bad old days when the shed was a part of the fan area in Chelsea where angels feared to tread. But one day West Ham came and they took the shed, if you know what I mean by that. And you know why? Because some so-called Chelsea fans then helped them. Some helped them, some ran away. It was only a hardcore that stood there, and of course they were overwhelmed. Chelsea have always had to deal with these sorts of divisions. Now we've gone past those bad old days, and all we're dealing with is a couple of morons on Twitter. Drown them out. Yeah, they can make their noise, but if you make a bigger noise, if on platforms like this we talk in support of Tuchel, the message will, trust me, it will get to the board. But if we're a bit shaky about him, they'll sense that, the fans don't even like him anyway, especially when there's trouble.
There is a channel, and he has one of the biggest followers of Chelsea. His name is everybody knows because he spoke bluntly about Abramovic on the big platforms. He also spoke about
Rory Jennings.
Yep.
Carry on.
So he is big influence on a lot of people.
Who it is, but okay.
Well, you're not big, Boogeyman, but the guy is big in the Chelsea fan base.
What's he saying?
He's a big clown, if anything, nothing more. He's a clown.
Well, I agree about the clown, but the problem is he has a lot of followers. He does. He just does. Nothing.
Thanks to True Geordie.
Do what?
Thanks to True Geordie.
Thanks to True Geordie. Yeah.
Because this guy was irrelevant before he joined the kickoff.
Anyway, so what happened was he speaks about Tuchel does the same thing like Lampard did, and Lampard lost his job. He's already starts to talk about it. So there's that.
What does it mean by Tuchel?
I'll call him out. I'm not afraid.
You're not the only one. He was being called out by a lot of people.
Because he praised that. He praised the manager sacking before Lampard. He was praising it. He was laughing. He goes, "Yeah, we do it and we win," and he was praising it. And then when it happened to Lampard, he lost his shit.
Then he was calling out Abramovic, saying that he needs to sell it because all of a sudden, remember, there's the window when Abramovic wasn't investing much. He had a little bit of personal business issues, and he wasn't investing in the club for a year or two. And he admitted he's like
a letter to sell Chelsea at that time. I heard that. I've read a lot.
It wasn't true. He never said he wanted to sell Chelsea. He just had the business.
I heard that he was looking for takers.
Never the truth.
And I read that
never the
lot.
truth. He had the legal complication.
Sorry, Alex, I'm going to interrupt you for a second. Listen, we started the stream talking about influencers, content creators, people in the social media world who have a voice and how they are using that voice. Alex is highlighting one particular individual. Now, regardless of who the individuals are, as Chelsea fans, as a Chelsea fan base, we need to approach these things intelligently, logically. Yes, there's emotions. Yes, there are certain biases when it comes to certain players and certain situations. But at the end of the day, as a fan base, we need to be the backbone of our club. We need to support our club. And any influencer, and I'm not specifically targeting the guy Alex mentioned, because
I didn't say the name. You did.
No, I mentioned, but you referred to him. I mentioned him. Yeah, I wanted everyone to be clear in regards to who it is you were referring to. You see, that individual, in my opinion, did have a good influence when it comes to Chelsea, social media, building up their platform on YouTube when it first. A few years back, he had a positive impact. Recently, he has been a little bit controversial in his point of view, in his standpoint. What you mentioned was a particular scenario. He also had a show where Georgie Morris was present, and things, words were exchanged, and players were mentioned, and he didn't really defend Chelsea. He didn't really stand behind Chelsea. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I could sit here and have a debate with Alex, and me and Alex could get into a debate. We could even get into a fight regarding our club, the passion and the love we have for our club. But I will never allow Alex, because he is a supporter of my club. Me and him were brothers in our club. But I will never allow somebody else to come and disrespect my club, and I'll be quiet and I'll just be like, that I would never do. All right? We'd have a debate, we'd have an argument, but disrespect is one thing. When someone disrespects a player, disrespects a club, disrespects a legacy, that is different.
And the guy was just sitting quiet. He did not defend Jody. It was so
Jody Morris, guys, remember this. Jody Morris is a former player, a former assistant coach. His position, his words, they have a massive ripple effect. So he's got to be careful what he says and how he behaves. The other dude now, Rory can say whatever he wants, because Rory is a YouTuber. He's a social media guy. Again, I started the stream by talking about us, and before I put anybody, or I put judgment on anybody, I'll put judgment on myself. All right, this is a platform. This channel is a platform. It's a small platform, granted. We get a couple of thousand people watching our show, but it's a platform, and we have to maintain that standard. Bobby quite rightly said, we have to take a stand, and we have to support our club and put the other voices in their place. Everyone has a different platform. Everyone has a different fan base or a different set of people behind them, and everyone needs to do their bit. And this is us doing our bit here on the Blue Lounge.
Absolutely. Can I add real quick about that?
Sure.
It's like a family. I can always argue and fight with my brother at home, but if I see anybody treating my brother from the outside, treating my brother badly, I will cut that guy's throat. You see what I'm saying? It's that simple. Like it's this is how it is. Like, even as much as I don't like Jorginho, but if Arsenal fans gonna come talk about Jorginho,
let's not get graphic. Let's not get graphic.
That will be.
Yeah, let's not get graphic. Yeah, we will be very upset, and we will handle it in the most gentlemanly fashion.
Yes. My English is limited. Yeah.
Can I ask one more question?
Clear, redneck.
Yeah. Unfortunately, declared he was very clear.
Yeah, I knew exactly.
Go on, MDT.
Can I ask what? Yeah. Yesterday, when I was watching the game, I feel like our midfield and defense, they did a very good job for 50 to 60 minutes, but they were tired. They were exhausted because we have injuries and players have been playing so much. I was, like I said a few weeks ago, when I said I want the attack to reduce the burden on the whatever. And when Tuchel did that change, because obviously he has to. I feel sorry for Jorginho after Ruben came off. And I really, really feel sorry for the defense when Alonso came off. This is sad, but it's reality. They were left to fend for themselves. I believe against Wolverhampton, if we play an unfit team or with this defense we have, they're tired, okay? We have to try to score in the first 40 minutes or 50 minutes because we don't have the energy to last 90 minutes.
Yes.
The players are unfit, whatever. We have to. So the forward line, because they're the fittest part of our team now, the forward players, they have to do more because the midfielders are not fit. The defense are tired. So, to be honest, I think if we don't win against Wolverhampton, if we don't take our first 2 chances or whatever, it's going to be a long day. What do you guys think?
I agree. I agree.
MDT, I don't know who said we should dip in the transfer market. I think it was declared. Yeah. But if we can't bring back any loans, I think it's a clear sign that we need to do that because the longevity of this squad for the season, after what's happening to them now, it's going to be bad if we can't rest them at some point. You know, and we still got the World Club Cup to navigate in February. They need to have a rest.
The irony is probably they're getting a rest while they're injured and COVID.
Do you know what? I'm even kind of hoping that our game is postponed because of COVID. Please, I'm not wishing COVID on anyone, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, it'll be a blessing in disguise. 2 weeks off, our players will come back. That's all they need. I think we need like a couple. That's why, Bobby, that maybe by the time we look at someone and go to buy someone, we might have all our players back or in that position that you want to dip in the market. So that could be another problem now. We can't solve it now.
From Chilwell's position, yeah.
Yeah, a postponement would be great. If we got 2 weeks to get all these players just up to scratch a little bit and recovered, and that's it. I think it'll be great.
Yeah.
Guys, hold on. Alex, I'm getting worried every time you open your mouth, man. You know, you're scaring me. I've seen. Listen, to be fair on Alex, I've seen him on other streams, and when he comes on mine, he behaves himself better. But because I saw him. I think was it today or yesterday on?
It doesn't matter today or yesterday.
On Carefree Lewis, and I'm like, was it today? And I'm like to myself, no, this guy, I can't have him on the Blue Lounge again. So
Alex is a boxer. Alex is a fighter. He's
listen. I love Alex. I love his passion. I love his.
I don't.
But sometimes you just gotta calm
Is somebody
down
speaking?
Lounge,
I don't see. I hear some noises in the background.
There's too much love for Alex. So I don't.
Boogie, we love you too as well, Boogie. Boogie, we love you too.
He feels jealous. He feels left out.
Hey, listen, Boogie is one of the founders, man. He's one of the founders, man. So, he's one of the OGs. Listen, guys. Today we've been on for 3 hours and 20 minutes. So it's been a long stream. It's been a very, very good stream. I really enjoyed the stream. I've really enjoyed the discussion, the insight, the thoughts, the opinions. It's been fantastic, and I'm really thankful for the 101 likes that we've had on the stream. There's nearly 100 of you in the stream already. So if you haven't hit that like button, do us a favor, hit the like button. If you're new to the Blue Lounge, subscribe because we do this literally every night. Every night we're here talking and debating and discussing. So if you're new, click the subscribe button, and we will see you tomorrow because tomorrow is going to be our match preview for Chelsea against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Hopefully, we'll have some good content for you. We're going to be doing a match preview. We're going to be addressing the Tuchel press conference that was shown today. A whole bunch of stuff. So, thank you for being here. Thanks to everyone on the panel. Fantastic panel today. Fantastic panel. Thanks to everybody in the chat. Thank you to Gabriel for all of his super chats, even though we didn't really do them justice. But I think it's mainly his fault rather than our fault because they were a little bit confusing. But fantastic. Have a good night, people.
Quick question.
No. Listen, tomorrow. Because we'll see the quick question will be here for 15 minutes.
Just Bobby. Hopefully he finds the strength to cope with the pain. That's all I want.
Yeah. Bobby. Listen, mate. Hopefully everything Thanks for reminding me. Hopefully everything is going okay. And if you need anything that we can do, please let me know. Please let me know.
Thank you. Thanks,
Bobby?
guys. You've actually taken my mind off it, which is really some good therapy. I appreciate it.
I don't know what's up, Bobby, but if you need me, let me know.
Rednet, it's not your business. Just keep going, man.
I'm ending the stream. Have a good night.
Bless
Peace.
you, man.